masculinity doesn't have to prove itself or be toxic or be violent or be belittling or degrading or any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's going to balance.
Majority of like women have their narcissism fueled more.
No. So you gotta realize he's simping and tricking are two different
They're
things.
constantly comparing to lions and
Because you guys have been rocking with the Lurker and Godmomma for some years. So truly appreciate it that I even have this much of a platform to utilize to move forward with the type of projects I want to do. So thank you all for, being.
A content creator. I provide services. I take time out my day, but you motherfuckers ain't paying me. You motherfuckers ain't paying me. But you motherfuckers ain't paying me. But you motherfuckers ain't paying me. My content ain't worth being paid for, but you at work and can't focus on work without listening to me.
Participating in yoga thinking that it's okay and it's benefiting their lifestyle. But little do they know that they're actually participating in a demonic ritual that brings demons into their life. If you know anybody that does yoga, please share this video to them and let them know that yoga is very demonic and they're participating in a demonic ritual and you're allowing demons into your life to destroy your life.
Who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A god.
Morning, get ready with me for church while I tell you why yoga is demonic. Okay? So I used to be a yogi. I would consider myself. I was into meditation, I was into yoga, I was into all of the things, until I found out the real about it, right? So some people think, oh, just because, I'm saved now, I'm looking down on that type of stuff, and it's like, no, it's really not that. Like, I'm out here really trying to tell y'all the truth because it had me all the way messed up. So there's these things called succubus and incubus, right? They are lust demons, and they come in through many different ways, and one of the ways is through yoga.
Kundalini yoga in its essence is the most dangerous form of yoga. I'm saying dangerous because it's the most potent also. What is most potent is always the most dangerous, if improperly handled. Without the necessary preparation and guidance, without expert guidance, constant guidance and observation, nobody should ever attempt it. But the problem is, books have been written about it and everybody wants to do the highest yoga. Nobody wants to start with A, everybody wants to start the alphabet with Z. This attitude itself is dangerous. Kundalini yoga, if it has to be practiced, you must be in a certain kind of atmosphere. You cannot live in social situations and do Kundalini yoga. Otherwise, in the name of Kundalini yoga, you're doing something simplistic. Otherwise, Kundalini yoga can transform the way you are within days. Suddenly you find you are a stranger in your own home within 2 days of practice, because it will change everything about you.
Ooh-wee. Now that was an intro. What's up, Godmomma? Happy
What's
Friday,
up?
baby.
Happy motherfucking Friday.
Let me get y'all some action over here. What's up to the chat? Hi. Hi, everyone. Y'all come on and get comfortable. We're going to have us a little conversation.
Yes, and this conversation is super intriguing to me to where I had to find a person who practiced yoga themselves,
Mm-hmm.
because At first, this when someone said, you read, "Is yoga demonic?" You're like, "No.
Right.
No. There's no way yoga can be demonic."
Right.
But when
Mm.
you start going down that road, you're like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. What's going on here?" And over here at the Concerned Citizens, we love to have these kinds of conversations because we want to know,
Yeah.
it is something that we're doing blindly
Mm-hmm.
affecting us in a way that we don't understand, or we're not in control of, or we can lose control, because yoga is everywhere. There's
Mm-hmm.
a yoga studio around every
Mm-hmm.
corner. There's a
Mm-hmm.
yoga instructor everywhere you turn, whether
Mm-hmm.
you're on social media or in real life.
Yeah.
So, baby, are we needing exorcisms, or what's going on?
What's
What's
going
going on?
on?
So I'm gonna
What's
bring Miss
going
Shree
on?
back up
Okay.
and let her introduce herself, her lovely self.
What's up, Shree? Shree
Hey y'all,
Bear.
how y'all doing? Let me just say
Hey.
just to be on some
Oh.
yoga tips. And I'm feeling
So how long have you practiced yoga, Shree?
hey. Well, sure, I'm not afraid of my age. So over almost 25 years.
Wow. Wow.
That's what's up. How
Nice.
did you get into yoga?
Good question. You want the long story or the short story?
How about in between?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How about an in between story?
I got hit by a construction truck and I messed up my knee, I messed up my elbow, I messed up a whole bunch of different body parts to the point where they were like, "You're not gonna be able to run or jump or much else anymore." And I was like, "That's crap." I started going to physical therapy, but you can only do that for so long with insurance.
Right.
And my physical therapist was like, "Hold on a second, y'all. I'm gonna mute for a moment."
No, you're all right.
You're fine. Take your time.
Yeah.
And while y'all are here, please hit the up like. Correct. Shree, I see you, Fundi. Yes, Shree would know. We brought the expert in.
Let's not be
Yeah, I'm
rude.
back.
Let me say hi to the chat, right? Because we
Yeah, go ahead.
started. We kind of just jumped in here. Soul Fights here. The favorite crayon. Hey, Miss Fundi Fee. Daquan is in the building.
Oh wait.
Who else is? Oh,
Wait.
that's you. Nothing ass bitch.
Yeah, that's me.
The nothing ass bitch. And to all you in the bushes, hello. Hit the
Please
like.
hit
Thank
the
you.
up like.
Thank
Have you ever done yoga, Godmomma?
Not yoga. And see, this was one of my questions to Shri. Is stretching different than yoga? But I want to kind of backpedal back all the way up to kind of get everybody caught up to even why we are here.
Can you hear me?
I
Yes,
can hear
Mama.
you perfectly. I don't know
Okay,
if
great. Hold on 2 more seconds, y'all.
you are
Okay.
perfectly fine, Shri. The TikTok influencer, she was an astrologist influencer, that committed a double murder, and suicide on the
It
eclipse.
was during solar
Mhm.
eclipse. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And she was a huge astrologist, tarot reader, what's up, Buddy Lee? Just
Okay, I'm
all of
back.
this,
What's up, everybody in the chat?
just all of like the spiritual things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when she did what she did, it caused like this rift even bigger than what's already been between spiritualist and religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now that's where we got the conversation, is yoga demonic? And just to give Shri some more time to kind of
Oh,
get
I got
herself
time. I'm
settled.
good now.
Okay.
I'm pretty good now.
I'm gonna play this one clip to just let the audience know
Oh,
who
please
I'm
do.
talking about.
Yeah,
Um,
I want to watch too.
so this is the the mother and astrologist, she went by, what was it, Lipstick X Mystic, on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're unrealistic.
LAPD confirms Danielle Johnson, aka Danielle Ayoka, seen here on the Scotty and Sylvia show, was an astrology influencer on social media who was concerned about the eclipse.
Eclipses, there's more births, there's more deaths.
Leading up to the eclipse on Monday, Danielle, who went by the handle Mystic X Lipstick, made several alarming posts like these. Wake up, wake up. The apocalypse is here. And the eclipse is the epitome of spiritual warfare. She also reposted alerts that signaled this is the final warning. Something big is coming.
This type of story is probably one of the most tragic and horrifying stories that we'll ever hear about.
Like the rest of us, clinical psychologist Dr. David Swanson, who never treated Danielle, is trying to make sense of this horrific tragedy. Just hours before the eclipse was to take place over California, Danielle stabbed her boyfriend to death in Woodland Hills, pushed her kids out of a moving car on the 405 freeway in the Westchester area, which resulted in the death of her 8-month-old baby and the injury of her 9-year-old daughter. Then Danielle died after crashing her Porsche into a tree in Redondo Beach.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a really sad story to hear. And it was complex, right? Talk about a rabbit hole. If you hadn't been following that lady, she's well known, had a huge following. She's also connected to a young man, but that's something we can get into another time. But she's connected to someone else who he was in a car accident with her and his best friend died.
Yep.
Wow.
So that story gets really deep. Yeah, rest in peace to the children though. Of that
Absolutely. And that's what sparked this whole conversation. And it went further. You know, yoga wasn't just one of the conversations, but it was one of the ones that stood out to me because when I did more research, it was a lot of people saying, yes, yoga can be demonic. More than what I originally would think, you know, would say absolutely yes. And then hearing testimonies from, you know, yoga instructors or people who had been in it for a while saying, oh yes, this is demonic or it is satanic. But I can't wholeheartedly believe that yoga is demonic.
All right, whenever y'all ready for me.
Let's go, because this gonna be a lot. Let me get to come on.
You want me to finish that first question on how I got the yoga?
Yes. Let's start there and then we'll catch all the way up. Oh my goodness.
Okay. So so I got hit by the construction truck. My physical therapist was like, hey, why don't you do some yoga? And I was like, yoga? Ain't that where they stretching? Excuse me. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, what do I need to do that for? I know how to stretch. I used to run tracks. You know, what is wrong with you? I don't need that. But then I had this weird experience at work where it was really, you know, when it's really hot outside, well, it gets really humid in New York. So inside in the summertime, we have the AC blasting. The AC was blasting on me. All right. And for some reason, my muscles started to spasm. And it was so weird. It got to the point where my physical therapist actually had to come to my job to help me, you know, get up out of that. Because for some reason, she was like, she doesn't need the hospital. And what she did was she made me breathe a certain way. I didn't realize that at the time, right? But for some reason, I was like, all right, let me look for a yoga place. And then one day I was going to work. This was the best time. One day I was going to work. I have really horrible periods, okay, everybody? Really horrible, like for most of my life. I was like 2 steps away from the hospital. You name it, I went through it. So I was going my way to work. This particular day, my cramps were so bad that I literally crawled out of the subway station and was crawling on the street. And I got to a bodega because I said, I need some water, I need something. And at the lamppost right there in the corner, it says, there was a sign on the lamppost that said, do you have menstrual problems? Do
Oh
you
God.
have such and so problems? Come to hot yoga. We're going to take care of you. Luckily
Nice.
Wow.
enough, the hot yoga studio was right next door to the bodega. I crawled halfway up the stairs. I guess they saw me through the camera. Helped me up the rest of the way. I told them what happened. They said, please go to our bathroom. I threw up in the bathroom. Um, and, I felt so bad. I was trying to clean it up, and they were like, no, don't even worry about it. And I was like, no, what's wrong with me? I'm going crazy. And they were like, here's what we want you to do. Go home, okay? We want you to make some tea, drink some tea, go to sleep, come back here in 3 hours. Don't eat anything, okay? I said, okay. Now, hot yoga is very different from Bikram yoga, okay? We'll get into all that later, but just know that hot yoga is different from Bikram yoga. My very first yoga teacher, when I came into that class, she said, who has problems with their back? People raise their hand. Who has problems with their this? People raise their hand. Who has problems with this? People raise their hand. Who has menstrual problems? I raise my hand. And she was like, well, I'm going to tell each of you what to do throughout this class. And then I'm going to give you a story. So when I first came into this class, I was scared because there was a man in the corner, right, who had a really big amount of pus on his back. He literally looked like Quasimodo, all right? And in hot yoga, it's hot, so you can't wear a whole bunch of clothes. He didn't have a shirt on, so you could clearly see his back, all right? And I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like, oh my God, what is going on? So it was a great class. She told me, come back 3 times a week. And I did that for 6 months. Okay. By the time that 6 months hit, I was learning about herbs. My period symptoms cut down 70%. And I was going to go to England. All right. I had planned to go to England. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to be able to see you guys for a while. I'm going to England. And the last class that I had, this was 6 months after the first class I had. The last class I had, there was a man standing in the same corner as my homeboy Quasimodo, okay? But he had his back to me. And I was like, excuse me, sir, I don't mean to offend you, but there's a guy, he comes to this class every week and this is his spot. So I don't want, he might be late because he's usually early. I don't want him to feel away, I'm just letting you know. Turn around, it was Quasimodo. He had nothing on his back. So
Wow.
I was like, yo, what happened, yo? I ain't calling Quasimodo. I was like, what happened? What? So he explained to me that he had that issue with him for about 5 years. He would go to surgeries, they'd pull the pus out, it'll grow back again. He tried all kinds of stuff. And for the past 3 years, he was going to that yoga class. And within that 6 months, they did, they pulled the pus out and it didn't come back. So that's why he looked normal, except for a scar on his back.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
gross
so that's
and good at the same time.
right. So that's how my yoga journey started. And I just want to let y'all know that that yoga class that I took, there were no ohms. There was no real meditation like that. None of that. Real bare bones. It was just the only thing that they did was certain breathing practices. Okay, that was it. And the postures.
So it's kind of like what in that clip where he was talking about Kundalini yoga and he was saying everybody wants to start at Z instead of A.
Sadhguru, which was who that was, he was so correct. The Kundalini yoga is not for everybody. It's hardly for anybody. That like a lot of the practices, first of all, Americans have the concept of yoga really twisted. And yeah, That's really it. And Americans are already on an addictive type. They're already an addictive type of society. You know what I
Right.
mean? We're cling to something quick, and instead of taking time, we want that pill type action. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yes,
We want to
ma'am.
get to the highest part. We want to be like this Swami over here. No, you don't. Because if anyone has ever watched my lives on YouTube, they may be on membership right now, but if anyone has known me from back in the day, y'all will know I would do yoga videos that tell you don't do certain things. I'm like, don't do it. What's wrong with you? You're not ready. It's not for you. A
And you
lot of
know,
these practices that people want to do are for monks, people who have that time and that discipline and that aesthetic
Right.
to do that. You're
Right.
not. You're nowhere near. The layman is nowhere near purified enough to be able to handle any of that. Like, do you really? If human beings were really ready for enlightenment, we'd all. I mean, if we were ready, we'd all be enlightened by now. We're not ready.
What do you
Sorry,
mean
Cass.
purified enough? And our other co-host is here. What's up, Sinister? Hi, baby.
What's up?
What do you mean purified enough? And Foodie Fee also said you should be isolated when practicing it. When
You
practicing
should.
yoga or
Well,
Kundalini yoga.
certain aspects of yoga, higher levels of yoga, and Kundalini yoga is a higher aspect of yoga. It really is.
and
So if
see,
you're
that's what's
talking,
interesting because that's what a lot of people promote is awaken the Kundalini spirit, Kundalini yoga,
They
awaken the
gentrified it.
dragon.
They done gentrified it. Godmother, that's
So
what it is.
I swear.
so
So is that
let
why
me tell.
everybody's losing their shit, Shree? You know what I
Hold
mean?
on,
Like,
hold on. No,
oh,
I'll
I think I'm
explain
going
it to
too
you.
far. I'm going too far.
No, you're not going too far at all. You're not going too far at all. I have to explain it this way. Um, there is Hatha yoga, Hatha. Okay,
Mhm.
that is the umbrella of the physical practices. All right, the postures that you see, downward dog, and all that good stuff. It's
Mhm.
called Hatha Yoga with a big H. Okay. And that encompasses everything as far as sitting on your butt and doing a posture or standing up and doing a posture. But in America, we break it down to a little h Hatha Yoga. And when you do the little h Hatha Yoga, that is considered very gentle or old people yoga. Okay.
Mm.
It's very similar with Kundalini yoga. When it comes to Kundalini yoga with the K, that really has to do with Tantra. And that's a whole other
Mhm.
thing, child, because
Right.
Americans have bastardized and made Tantra depraved too. All right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
we've
Yeah, I
corrupted it. All
agree.
right.
I agree. Mhm.
And then there is the Kundalini yoga. It's like a branch of yoga that was actually created by a Sikh. All right. And oh gosh, why did his name escape me? But they're like the Kundalini yoga that you're supposed to do. The layperson still doesn't do it because those guys dress up in all white. Okay, they have their own language to chant, which is different from Sanskrit. They do their own thing. They have their own method of doing it. And if you really wanted to do their type of yoga safely, it's much better to put on that white garb and get in isolation like they do and do exactly what they do. All right? You get a whole bunch of lay people, regular folk that are like, oh, we see those guys do that. I can do that too. No, no. Uh-uh.
Yeah,
And
can't be wearing
another
your
thing,
Lululemon.
and that's another thing that's messed up too, because it's not even the Kundalini that everybody's talking about. It's the chakras that you
Mhm.
really need to worry about.
Mhm.
Because the Kundalini spirit or the Kundalini energy is in every single human being theoretically. All
Right.
right? It's there whether you like it or not. It doesn't have to be, you don't even have to be aware of it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But when the Kundalini starts to rise, it goes through the chakras, okay? And everybody's so worried, I gotta purify some chakras. I gotta do this with these chakras. I gotta do this. It's so much more than that. You are not purified enough to handle that energy, especially if it reaches to the top of your brain. You know what I mean?
Right, and
Like
that's what
the
he was saying,
Sahasrara
like
chakra. Like you're not
right.
ready
Right, like
because there's
you
so
would
many other
go
things to
home
deal with.
like you would go home and feel like a stranger in your own home, and when he
Mm,
said that, I kinda understood what he meant because I have done meditation before, came out and be like, like I had I had to gather because what is this in the moment? Because I went somewhere else. So it
right.
was, I don't know, Shree. I don't know.
Godmama, I've seen people play with the Kundalini. I've seen them froth at the mouth. I've
Uh-huh.
seen them have epileptic seizures. I've seen them faint. I've seen them
What?
go through all kinds of nervous system issues. I've
Mhm.
seen this with my very own eyes.
What?
And that's why
I've
they're
said it in
calling
my
it
lives, and people
demonic
don't believe
possession.
me. No,
Yeah.
but
Okay,
it's
but I
not
wasn't
demonic.
thinking.
But
I
hold on,
wasn't
it's not
thinking yoga.
demonic.
I wasn't
It's not
It's
thinking yoga.
demonic.
I was thinking people just playing with. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think of like chakras, and I've told when me and Godmama talked about this, we didn't discuss it too much because we wanted to save it for the live. But I always know that an empty vessel is a demon's playground type shit, or however you want to label it.
Well, see,
So
that's
when you're
the other
saying
thing.
purification, you don't want to purify too much or in the wrong way because you don't want to be empty to where something can be let in. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's
Well, let me.
spiritual warfare.
I mean, if you want me to be very, very technical about it, I can. But what I'll say is, it's not just the chakras that need to be purified.
Mm-hmm.
It's other things in that system that need to be purified, and I can get technical and break that down. But most people don't want to hear about that. They just want to
Mhm.
get to the get to. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you guys something. I've meditated before and my kundalini went to the top and I went through certain things myself and I wasn't ready. I mean, if y'all want to hear a quick story, I can tell you when I've said it on my live, but I can tell you the story again. There were plenty times where I used to meditate and I would meditate on my breath and I know I would leave my body. I would go to the void.
Mhm.
I feel like I was dead. Okay. If I did a mantra while meditating, same thing. It was like a certain thing that'll happen, and then all of a sudden, whoop, I'm out. Right. And I'll come back to the present moment like I almost drowned. Okay.
Mhm.
There was a teachers meeting, and it was like to learn more. And it was a Swami who taught the class. And for those of you who don't know what a Swami is, that's a monk in in yoga. Not exactly in Hinduism, because that's where the real, oh, that's demonic. That's really where that comes from. But I'm just sticking to yoga, right? So this is a Swami, this is a monk who spends all their time doing yoga. And we're talking about breathing. And I raise my hand and I say to the Swami, I said, I don't like to meditate. And she was like, why? Yes, it was a female. And she was like, why? And I was like, I don't like to meditate because when I meditate and use my breath, I feel like I'm dead. When I meditate and do a mantra, I feel like I'm dead. And now I meditate too much, I feel like I'm dead. I don't want to die,
Mhm.
okay? I'm not ready. I know I'm not afraid, I'm just not ready. And this meditation proves it. So I don't want to meditate no more. You know what this Swami said to me?
Hmm.
Looked me dead in my face and said, you know what? What you are able to do, there are swamis that have been trying to do that day and night for 50 years and not accomplished it. You have touched God.
Hmm.
Then after that, people came to me and said, don't tell nobody you can do that anymore because then they'll get jealous and try to steal your power from you. That's demonic.
Right. Now that's demonic. So are we? And Nikki Crayons had a good question. Is
What's up,
yoga
now?
and demonic? Are they even?
Do demons and yoga exist
Yes,
in the
thank
same
you.
beliefs? Because she's saying the Hinduism, because right, the title of the show is Yoga Demonic. Well, I said lack of a better term because I mean that's just what it is of my ignorance. I don't practice Hinduism, Buddhism, or Catholicism either. But just lack of a better term. That's why I said the word demon, or having an empty vessel, letting something else come through it. But Fundi brought it. Oh, go ahead, answer that, and then Fundi has.
Okay, because I do want to answer that. First of all, I just want to answer that by saying yoga and Hinduism can be completely separate. They were not made with each other. They were not made at the same times. Yoga is actually a science. All right, it has nothing to do with religion or anything like that. And that's what Hinduism is. And even though there are certain books that are tied to Hinduism as far as cultural history of India,
Mm-hmm.
right? That doesn't mean that yoga itself is tied to Hinduism. A lot of people see the demonic aspects from Hinduism, and I can explain why
Oh,
that is later. I don't I don't have to do that right now, but I want you
right.
to
I don't want to.
understand
Well,
that
because
yoga
yoga
is a
does come.
science. It's not a religion. It doesn't have anything to
Right.
do. They're mutually
Right.
exclusive, if that's
Right.
the right term to
Because
use.
she's trying to ask, is yoga, yoga is Hindu, right? Yes, it comes from their culture, but as far as being a Hinduist or Hinduism, you can practice yoga without being a Hindu, or it vice. You know what I'm
That is
saying?
correct. That is
You can
correct.
be a Hinduist and not practice yoga. So,
That's right.
even though
Well,
it did come
actually,
from there.
you can be a Hindu and do certain aspects of yoga
Mm-hmm.
because what people don't know is that there are 8 different types of yoga. And I guarantee
What's
you,
up,
even if you don't believe in yoga, you do one of those things. Oh, you want to
Mm.
know what they are?
Yes,
Um,
please. Get your notebooks
Hatha,
out. Get your pens ready so
What's
you
up,
can.
Hatha
Miss?
yoga. Hold on. Hatha yoga,
Mm-hmm.
Jnana yoga, Jana, Jnana yoga, Japa yoga, Karma yoga,
Mm.
Raja yoga.
Hmm.
So it's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bhakti yoga, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somebody's gonna be upset with me. Kriya yoga and Laya yoga are separate, but they're not the ones that I'm thinking of. There are 2 more, and they will come to me, y'all. I'm so sorry. All right, but there are 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just put Kriya yoga and Laya yoga there for now. All right, Laya yoga is the moon yoga, which is the most closely associated to the Kundalini yoga with the K, with the
Mm-hmm.
capital K, not the little one that was made by the Sikh. Yeah, so I could just leave those there now. And let me explain what they are. Hatha yoga is the physical postures. That's where all these postures have asana after them because
Let
asana
me
means
correct
seat.
mine.
And don't worry, I guarantee you, as soon as I pick up something that I'm not supposed to, either during this live or after it, I'm gonna have all 8 different types of yoga in front of me. I hear it, dummy. That's how the universe usually works for me with this. But yeah, hatha yoga are the physical
I see you,
postures.
Nikki.
And the total reason to do these physical postures is so that you can sit on your butt to meditate. Okay?
Okay, wait. To sit
Oh,
on your butt and meditate is what?
that's why you do the postures. So
The
you
physical
gain,
postures.
yeah. So you gain the ability to be able. So it's a stepping system. It's okay. Now I understand
Uh-huh.
why he said A to Z and stop, and you're
Mhm.
starting at Z.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So,
Here we go.
so
I'm
then,
here.
see, now it gives me the Luna Yoga Chabu. What was the other one that I said? Oh, Yana Yoga is self inquiry. Okay, I am what? Am I that? Am I that? I am what? What am I? Right? It's still a meditation. I don't have to sit to do it.
It's a lot of chant. There's chanting in with this, right?
Oh, don't worry, we'll get to that.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
Okay. Okay.
this Yana Yoga is internal, where you think of it yourself,
Mhm.
right? Japa Yoga is the mantras based off of
Mm.
repetition. Okay? So that's Japa Yoga. Okay? Karma Yoga is selfless service. So volunteering. Okay? That's
So
Karma Yoga.
so what I'm hearing is yoga isn't always just stretching.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, not at all. If anything, it's really only hatha yoga that involves stretching, but all of these will include your breath and
Okay.
your prana, which you guys may also know as chi.
Mhm.
Um, so Raja Yoga is the yoga of the mind. All right, yogic philosophy and psychology. And the
Yo,
book
I
that they use in Raja Yoga has nothing to do with any Hindu anything. Okay, not a one.
So
yo,
I'm
Nikki,
learning
Nikki, get
Nikki
the fuck out of here, Nikki. Yo, she in the fucking yo.
I didn't even get the Bhakti Yoga yet.
No, no,
because
no,
this
no.
is
Oh,
I am
oh,
learning
yo, she
so
asked about that too
freaking
because that was the
much.
hot yoga. Nikki did say that because she didn't. She said that's the hot
Hot
yoga.
yoga
It's not
would be a part of Hatha Yoga.
okay.
Hot and hot. This is
Hot
So,
yoga,
interesting.
the one that I was
hold
talking
on though,
about when
but
you do
we
the
need.
posture
Hold on, I don't want
in
to
the
cut.
heat.
Hold on, Nick, Shri, I don't want to cut you off, but this is going
Yes,
in
please cut me
while
off.
you're telling us this, but let me include Nikki because she's in the chat, just, you know what I'm
Okay,
saying, doing what she do.
okay,
But
okay.
she's saying though, so the question is now, right? Because
hmm
we've made it to the point that there can be a separation of yoga, the
hmm
action of yoga, the belief of yoga, right?
hmm
And we're going to say yoga loosely because we're talking about Americanized as well as the actual, I don't want to say
Traditional stuff.
Kundalini
Say
traditional, thank
traditional.
you,
Yeah.
Mhm.
traditional. So we are including a little bit of this and it is going to get mixed up. So we do need to have questions to clarify. I hate to slow walk this, but
No, it's
I'm learning.
okay. I
Well,
love
I'm
it.
learning something. So I came to learn. If
But
you
it
didn't come to
yeah,
learn, this isn't for you. So now
it
that we've
definitely needs to
separated
be
those
slow
things,
walked
right?
because
Okay.
I because we're getting it because a lot of the times when because I love to come to our platform with a social media mind because that's where everybody's at. So all
hmm
day you're seeing like you'll see yoga and it's a reel of someone doing, a mountain pose, a downward
Right.
dog.
Downward
So,
dog.
Right. That's
so a lot
hatha yoga.
okay,
Yes,
so a
that's
lot of
hatha
people
yoga.
think that yoga is just
That
stretching. So
right.
you
And
answered
it's
my
not.
first question. Is yoga and stretching separate? Yes, they are.
Very
Yoga
much
is
so.
not stretching, stretching is not yoga. So all
Right.
of my people out there who are like, even if you say demonic, I'm throwing it away, whether we prove it is or isn't, you can still stretch, baby. You can still get them stretches in and
And let me
okay?
and just to really slow walk you guys, the
Miss Rosalind,
difference
your mama's
between
safe.
doing
She's safe.
postures and stretching is the way that the breath is involved.
Okay.
Okay. You can do, if you meet up with a personal trainer and you're stretching, they might tell you to breathe in a particular way. As a
Mhm.
matter of fact, if you go with a personal trainer and they try to make you make you do a deadlift, they will tell you to breathe in a particular way. But when you do these postures, you're supposed to incorporate what's called pranayama or breathing practices with it, even if it's the most basic breathing practices. And your breath, your spirit, your prana is what heals or helps or expands or whatever intention that you set for that practice to do. If your spirit and your intention is demonic, well, then there you go, demon time for you. But if your intention and your prana and your spirit is based on something else, then you're going to get something else out of it.
So it's like you're playing with fire, or not fire, but I don't want to say magic. Y'all know I have a fucking, my vocabulary is not very broad. I need to pick up a
Well, that's
thesaurus.
why I say it's a science, because science is magic explained to me. And
Right.
any real yoga person will tell you this is a science. There are a lot of
Okay.
things that can be proven by science now with yoga. The only thing they can't prove is chi or prana. They can't
Mhm.
quantify that. They can't remake that. But there's a whole thing called yoga therapy that is going through hospitals right now that are healing a whole bunch of people without drugs, without injections or surgeries and things like that. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
It's huge. It's huge in the rehab therapy for sure.
hmm
Yoga, stretching, breathing, it's huge. And also, y'all, I don't do yoga, but I did take me some Pilates, and let me tell you,
Ooh-wee.
it had me feeling some type of way. But I went in for it for not stretching. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to have a ballet dancer. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be
but
anyway.
even if you do yoga, you can get that too.
But I haven't done yoga. Do I love to meditate, stretch, all of those things? Yes, but I've never gone to a yoga class. I've
Yeah,
never
well, some
because
people
it's
will say that the
uncomfortable for me.
meditation is yoga.
Right.
They say that.
That
And that,
well, that's how I practice my yoga at home, outside with the trees.
Right. And hey, that's how the Indians do it.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm finding
So
out that
and
I'm doing yoga more than I think that I am, because I do
Right.
the inward, um, I call it inward mental gymnastics, but the inward, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a whole. When you were talking about one of the yoga practices, I was like, oh, I do that shit inwardly. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
And I didn't even get to tell you guys about bhakti yoga, because bhakti yoga is
yeah, we
about
didn't finish.
devotion.
Yeah, we didn't finish
If
that
you
part.
go to church, when you go to church and you read the Bible or you read your little hymnal or you singing your song for the Lord, that's bhakti yoga. The only thing is yoga
Wow.
don't care who you worship. Yoga don't give a damn who you worship. Yoga don't care. Neither does Hinduism. That's why Hinduism, the only thing about Hinduism is that anything that a human being can want to aspire to, there's a God for you. That's it.
Yeah, they do have like hundreds of gods over there. It's crazy. We got a god for
Yeah.
you. You get a god. You get a god. You get a
Yeah.
god.
And I
Everybody
mean,
gets a god.
and I'm gonna tell you guys now, I like to jump the gun, right? I've seen some videos and I've actually spoken to people that came up to me and was like, "Oh, well, yoga is demonic." And I was like, "Oh, well, why is yoga demonic?" Because they got that blue lady and she looks so scary. You know she's really black. You mean black like black people? Yeah. Oh, and what about that other guy? He has snakes in his head and he's blue. Don't you know those are really dreadlocks? The snakes represent wisdom, just like the caduceus, the medical symbol that represents the chakras and the flow of kundalini from, yeah, and he's black too.
And see,
Oh,
that
well, what
brings me
about
to.
those guys over? Hold
I'm
on,
sorry.
God, Mama got one more for you.
This is
What about those
interesting.
guys
This
over
is
there?
really
Those
interesting.
Hare Krishnas. They're a cult. They worship that guy Krishna. Oh, that blue guy Krishna. Yeah, he's black. Actually, the name Krishna means black.
Hmm.
I can tell you why the Indians changed them from black to blue, and it's basically racism. Oh, is it
Mhm.
really demonic now? You
And
aren't
see,
untouchable.
that brought me to this question, because that was a lot while I was doing this research. That was a lot of the of the uproar was the certain deities and the pictures of certain deities and the way that they looked. And s and so a lot of people were saying that certain poses are to invoke these specific deities. Is this correct, or are we being fed misinformation?
No, it is correct. Not exactly correct, okay? Just
Okay.
because there are certain postures that might be named after a Hindu god or goddess, that doesn't mean it's set to invoke anything evil. None of
Okay.
none of the Hindu deities that you guys do. You know what? I forgot to answer this question because Nikki did ask the question about demons,
Mhm.
and I forgot to answer that. All right. All of these Hindu things are gods and goddesses, okay? What yoga and Hinduism considers a demon is way different than what any American would consider a demon,
Mm.
okay? In Hinduism and yoga, a demon is called an asura.
Right.
And you're not an asura because you decide to worship Satan. No. An asura is anyone, god, human, animal, or rock that does something for its own selfish purposes, not in service of others.
Mm. A lot of these motherfuckers is out here walking a stoodle. Okay. Period.
Okay?
Just saying.
It's
And
not
I
like,
bet you
oh,
they
I'm
don't do
possessed
yoga
by
at all.
Satan. Garbage. Because you go to church to be possessed by God. What are y'all talking about? Y'all go to church wanting to be possessed by Jesus. Is that demonic?
You
Some
bringing
people
up a
go to
good point
church
there.
talking in tongues and all that good stuff. Is that demonic? No, you telling me that comes from the Most High God. So why is that demonic over here? This ain't demonic over here. And I'm not calling any of it demonic. You do what you do. And that's what yoga has taught me, to let people be what they be. You want to be a
Mm.
demon, you go right ahead. Be the best demon you could be, because it's not going to affect who I am. And that is what protection is. I mean, if I could be a little facetious with people who are super religious, it's really crazy how much y'all cling to Satan. And y'all don't cling to God as much as y'all cling to Lucifer, you know. It would be like God is a poop putt bitch because y'all so scared of fucking Satan. Y'all don't believe that the power of God can really defeat his ass. Oh God, Satan, oh God, Lucifer, gonna do this. What happened to the power of God? What I worry with Satan for? If the power of your God's supposed to protect everybody, what worry with him
Right.
for? What you worried about demon for? Your God is supposed to be beyond all that. You so worried about demon. Are you really worshiping your God, right? Child? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's go. Wake it up now. Wake
I'm
it
just
up.
In Hinduism, and the original name for Hinduism is Sanatana Dharma, Dharma, which means the eternal truth.
Hold on. I'm going to pull that up on the screen for us. What was it? Dashana? Say it again.
Sanatana, Sanatana, Dharma, Dharma, which means the eternal truth. And one thing that Hinduism and yoga will always have in common is the Sanskrit language. It is an ancient language from India, okay? And the reason why Sanskrit, Aramaic, and Amharic are ancient, considered dead languages now, one, because no one really speaks them, but these languages are important because their words actually carried a vibration with them. English, you got word
Yeah.
sound power, but these words actually hold a vibration when you say it. It's like when you hear a Trinidad person talk and it sounds like they singing a song, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
these languages is even more than that. If you feel something resonate inside of you.
And
That's the
see,
only
that was
reason why.
And whenever I came into my spiritual journey, etymology was one of the first things that I kind of like dived deep into because
And you have to.
I learned that a lot, even though I'm saying one thing, the vibration of what I'm saying isn't really what I'm saying.
Right.
And yes, there's intent behind it. Intent is everything, but there are things out of your control. And that's
Mm-hmm.
again, full circling back. I know the question is kind of crazy, but that's why I wanted to have this conversation because are we just being gaslit? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we being gaslit with being told that yoga is demonic? Um, when you do certain poses, you're invoking certain demons and you're going to be possessed and you're walking around possessed. And, at first I was like, this just has to be one culture. This is just one culture. But no, it's all cultures across the board. And I think it comes back down to a lot of people are getting into quote unquote magic that they're not understanding and they're not ready for. Because
They're really not ready for it.
we've seen people spaz out. And another conversation that I want to have is spiritual psychosis. I want us to go down that rabbit hole one week. And Sheree, I would love to have your opinion as well, because that is a huge thing that's going on right now too, spiritual psychosis.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Shree says she's seen people foaming at the mouth and whoopie whooping.
Mm-hmm.
So
And even mentally acting cuckoo crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through periods of time where I mentally went a little cuckoo crazy for a hot second. I mean, I'm not gonna. I can tell you from my personal experience, right? I'd be a lie if I tell you that there weren't times where I would teach a class and I would say certain things and I wouldn't remember what I said after class was over, and people would call that possession. There have been times where I was in yoga teacher training, whether it was the first level, the second level, or any other certification that I got, and they had us do certain things that was like divination. Okay. And I actually had a communication. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been there. However, some people can call that possession, but I used to write even before I found yoga. I could look at people and not know them from a hole in the wall and write poems. Just looking at them, I'll write a poem and I'll give it to them. And they'd be like, "Do you know me?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know you. I have no idea who you are. I just decided to write a poem to you. I just got inspired. Here, take it. You like it? You don't like it?" Some people would cry because they'd be like, this is too much like me or what I'm going through. And I was doing this from 13 years old. I'm just a weirdo, okay? Individually, I'm a weirdo. I was a weirdo before yoga came. So all the possession that ever happened to me, I can chalk that up to I'm just a natural weirdo.
Facts. And I want to get back to this. Fundi was saying earlier in the chat that it's about purifying the mind, purifying the thoughts, getting rid of some of those things. And I get confused by that because I can go into complete blankness and just be bloop, and I come back. I guess I don't know. I don't want to say I felt possessed. Nigga, I came back refreshed.
Right. Right.
We'll find a way.
Right.
There was a problem today. Don't worry. I'm not going to worry about it in 6 months. So why am I tripping today? Like I will. And then there's times where I go into not meditation, but into like a hibernation. I'm fixing to have one coming up soon here in a couple days where the phone, you won't be able to reach me, baby. And the spirit will let me know if there's an emergency and I need to imagine, you know what I'm saying? But no, I'm going off the clock. Completely.
And is that demonic?
No, why would that be demonic?
Exactly.
Demonic.
I tell
Now,
people all the time. Okay.
if I go 0 dark 30 to go do some weirdo shit, then yeah. But if I'm just meditating and soaking up vitamin D in my backyard, and you know what I'm
But
saying?
but Marky, even if you decide to go do weirdo shit, if you decided to go do weirdo shit with the intention of purifying myself or feeling refreshed or feeling
Well,
good, that's what you're gonna
well,
go into it
no,
with.
no,
And if it
no.
doesn't give, hold on, let me ask you. If it doesn't give you that, are you gonna continue or you gonna
No,
stop?
no, 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 because we've got to put some boundaries on this. Now, if I'm going for self-serving reasons that will come back to make the universe a better place, then yes. But if I'm going on self-serving so I can go to Jeffrey Epstein's aisle, no.
Yeah,
The
then you are
universe,
sort of. I
you
will
know, because some
definitely,
people
but
will
it's the
dip off and
intention.
be like, I need to go on some downtime so I can go be blah blah. Some people will misuse some shit, their time away to
And
not
but
go here. You know what I'm saying? So
so, Lurky, I got a question for you now. When humans go to misuse things, is that a yoga thing or is that a human being thing?
correct. Yoga. I mean, human. Sorry. Human.
Because my thing is, yoga is like a gun. Does
Mm-hmm.
the gun kill people, or does the human that picks up the gun, points it, and pulls the trigger kill people?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the argument even with the gun situation. Some people say, well, get rid of the guns. And then other
Mm-hmm.
people are like, well, we don't got to get rid of the guns. Fix the people, or don't let these idiot people touch the gun. Right? But at the end of the day, what can the gun do? The gun isn't an inanimate object. It can't pick itself up, point, and shoot.
So, and let's bring this back around though, because we're here in America. I see you, Nikki. We're talking about in this context. Here in America right now, like Godmama was saying, you'll see there's yoga studios or da 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 da. So that's where we have to be mindful of who's the yoga teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Do you know how many
Okay.
yoga studios I had to go through before I found the yoga place that I called my home? I went through a whole bunch. Shoot, I've sat in a yoga studio next to Russell Simmons and all these other idiots
Oh
before I
God.
could find a yoga studio
Oh
that was
God.
for me. All
That
right.
would have been comedy. Oh my God.
What's up, Salt? You're back, babe. Come on in. So, Salt, you can chime in anytime. I know you've been listening and working and doing what you do, but come on in, baby.
But see, this is
Yes.
my question. I'm sorry, Salt. Do you have a question?
Nah, go ahead.
Because a lot of people are saying, like, okay, I go in, these are videos that I've watched. I went into meditation wanting to manifest some money. And
That's the whole problem
during
right there. Sorry.
during the manifestation or during the meditation, I heard someone speaking to me, and now they basically won't leave these people alone. So they're saying that it's a demon, that it's an entity that they've invoked and invited, and it's through yoga. That's what they're saying. And whenever I came into this in this spiritual journey, I realized there's a fine line with schizophrenia. There's a
Mm.
fine line with schizophrenia. Um And so and again, when we get into this spiritual psychosis conversation, I'm going to be bringing that up too. So are these voices that these people are hearing, are they deities? Because I'm not going to call them demons, because that's just I'm not doing that. Are they different deities, or is this spiritual psychosis going on with people, like, because they're saying, "I do a downward dog pose, and I hold it, and I do my breaths, and then I hear people speaking to me." Like, what is going on?
Oh Lord and Jesus. Okay, see,
It's
I'm
gotta
supposed to
be
be
the
a yogi.
demon.
Am I supposed to say that? Ain't no damn demon girl. I'll
I
tell
have
you what it is
never
though.
heard. I have never heard of somebody. I've never heard of this Godmama. So I'm not trying to laugh at that person's experience. This is just new. Caught me off guard. I didn't know people was out here hearing voices like that. I didn't know that yoga, because I do know you go into a meditative state. But I have some native in me, so I also know that there are people who will chant, smoke, go into a hallucinative type of situation, but they come back. But like Godmama said, there's a fine line. because they go to the powwow to hallucinate and receive those messages and
You
then
just
come
said
back
it,
out.
Loki. You just said it. They go in there with the proper intention. They know what they're going in there for. And they release. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish up, Lurky, and then I'll
No,
continue.
that's what they do. But they come out and they haven't lost their rocker. They didn't turn into young Pharaoh.
And I'll tell you why.
For lack of a
I'll
better
tell you
term.
exactly why.
I'll
tell you why. Do you know who the biggest demon in your life is?
Me?
What part of you?
Me? I would
The
say my thoughts, nigga.
unhealed,
My
the
thoughts.
unhealed version of me.
And what umbrella would you put that under?
Subconscious.
I'm not looking at the chat, guys. I'm so sorry. So if anybody in the chat answers correctly, let me look now.
Nikki said the voice.
Mm-mm. It starts with an
My
E.
lower self?
It starts
Oh,
with
it
an
starts with an
E.
E. Ego. My ego?
Thank you. Thank you.
Girl, yes, my ego can be the death of me, period.
Thank you. So, with that being said,
okay, come on, class.
A lot of yoga, and I'm not gonna give y'all misnomers, okay? Because in America and even in other parts of when you're dealing with people who don't know much about yoga, they're like, "Oh, you have to kill the ego. You have to destroy the ego." That is, I'm trying to be neutral, but that right there is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. There's no such thing as killing or destroying your ego, okay? Your ego is what makes you an individual, all right? So yoga does not help you kill anything because one major practice of yoga is called ahimsa, non-violence, all right? So you can't harm yourself. And no, you don't want to kill or destroy your ego. What you really want to do is sometimes sit it in the corner and allow it to be quiet. Or sometimes you want to hold hands with your ego and skip through the meadow of dandelion and other beautiful flowers. That's what you want to do with that ego. Okay? So if someone sits there to meditate about money, you're already bringing your ego into the situation. It's a problem. That's where your demon comes in. All right? Sometimes when you hear that voice, you ain't even get to the level yet because your ego is fucking with you. When
So
you do
that
yoga postures or you
come
breathe
on,
right,
Shree.
the first one against you is your ego. Your ego will make you scratch. Your ego will make you do all kinds of shit. Your ego make you sitting there trying to meditate. Your ego's gonna make your arm numb. You want to scratch. You want to fart. You can hear your dead grandma from 20 years ago yelling at you. Get up, girl. All kinds of stuff. Hell yeah, it's your ego. It's your ego. It don't like this shit. It don't like to be calm. It like to run the show. It does not like for you to be a witness and watch the ego, what the ego does and be like, you know what? We gonna rein that in. Cause that really is what yoga does. And not exactly control, restraint. Because the term control connotates force. And that is an aspect of your ego.
Damn. Come on, Shree. Get me together. Get
If
me
we want to
together.
go beyond the ego, like you said, we got to train our linguistics different. So, no, I don't want to control my breath. I don't want to control my ego. I'd like to restrain it when necessary and let it go when necessary. Sometimes I need my anger. Yoga does not mean I can't be angry. I can't be sad. I can't be none of that. No, yoga doesn't even mean I can't. Yoga taught me how to say no better than anything.
Okay.
All those people that you see, you're like, yes, 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 and they tell you that's yoga. Bullshit. It's not.
So would yoga, is it teaching you discipline, both physically, spiritually, mentally?
Yes, darling. It's
I think it's the
supposed to
practice
do
of
that.
patience.
Beyond patience, even tolerance, patience, all of that with yourself first.
Okay.
Because the second rule of yoga is in order for you to be selfless, which means be in service to others, you have to be selfish. You got to keep some for yourself. How am I help y'all control you? No, restrain y'all egos, and mine ain't restrained.
Okay, come on.
What are we doing? And even if I am a master, right? Even if I become a yoga master and I can do all of this and I can do all that, guess what? I'm still human. I still got an ego. It's not gone all the time. What are you, crazy?
Okay.
Your
So
ego
that's
is the
what
gateway between good and evil.
so that's what I was asking, or not asking, but stating earlier, back to these little American yoga people. And no disrespect. I'm sure there's some yoga people out here that know what they're doing.
The gentrified, you said it right. The
Yeah,
gentrified
gentrified.
yoga community.
These little gentrified motherfuckers. So that's why you have to be cautious of who's your teacher. Who is your yoga teacher? Because again, I haven't been to yoga. I've never felt the need, but I love to I've always done like a in-house, my own, whatever my body felt like doing. Let me get up and stretch this. Let me twerk a little. Let me stretch this. Let me pull, you know what I'm saying? Let me get my little activist, you know what I'm saying, in. But when I start looking, because I've seen it, you know what I'm saying? When the way my algorithm is set up, I have a lot of health, physical workout, gym heads. I don't have a lot of yoga people, but sometimes they'll slip in there. And it's more of I haven't, you're talking about ego, and that's not breaking it or killing it, just controlling it. I don't see, from what I see, and I know social media glorifies things, magnifies things, but they don't seem very calm or not ego driven. If anything, it's become a trend and it's become vanity.
Because it's ego driven and they want money.
So that's why I'm
If
saying
I
be
if I pick a
cautious of.
yoga teacher because she's beautiful and she can do tricks, that's ego. That's what else is there?
There
That's
we go.
ego.
Listen, that's a stereotype right there, Nikki, and it's the truth, my nigga. It's the fucking truth.
What Nikki
Nikki says,
say?
in my experience, yoga people are crunchy white ladies that shop at Whole Foods and drive Mercedes. Well, usually
And
I
you
see
want
them in like a big old SUV type Cadillac something. But that, and they have their Stanley Cup, they have their wimpy whoop, they have their hair in a little flippy flip, they're ready to go. And they say, they tell me, Amber, you want to come with us to yoga, bitch? No, I will not
well,
be seeing you hoes at yoga.
I'm gonna tell you something. It was a lot for me because most of my clients at one point in time were those white ladies. All right. And they wouldn't stop coming to me. Like they wouldn't stop coming to me because I didn't know how to teach. They stopped coming to me because once they learned the postures and they wanted to learn more, I told them, no, you're not ready. I said, your ego gonna go nuts. You ain't ready for this. Please.
So what's the difference in your class versus this commercialized stereotypical opinion I have? So you really you're walking it through, because when I've seen I've watched you I've been lurking, seeing you on your little bigo, and you know what I'm saying, come on back. And you are very stern. You're stern. I love it. If we were closer, I would hire you immediately. But you're more talkative, I guess. But again, I haven't been to yoga, so I don't know. You're very communicative with your yoga when you're teaching us, and I don't know if it's just because you're an instructor, but I don't know. Is that what they do in normal yoga classes? Are they breaking it down that way?
No,
Okay.
they're not.
Okay.
The
It's
lineage that
literally the downward dog crew. Downward dog, mountain pose, stand tall like a tree crew. I'm sorry.
My favorite is that side plank. I love a good side plank. That shit hurts. Side plank, lift your leg. Side plank, lift your. Oh, that hurts. I love a side plank.
Where does it hurt?
Where? If I'm lifting my leg, it hurts right through my core to my inner thigh area. You know that area, right in this. I'm not going to stand up and show you. but around the hip area up through that core area, core and hip, core and hip.
So, one of the reasons why I talk so much when I teach is because I want you to feel it properly, and I know you're a beginner.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to teach an intermediate class, I wouldn't have to talk so much. If I were to teach an advanced class, I wouldn't have to talk at all.
Oh, okay,
The whole class would
okay.
be do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And the only challenging thing that I would talk about would be where to put your breath, how long to hold it for, what intention you should set. If there's a mantra for you, which one? That's the difference. That's why I talk so much. The reason why I'm stern is because of the type of yoga that, not only the type of yoga that I learned to teach, but who I am. Okay? I learned my style of yoga from the lineage of a real Indian Swami. He was born in India. He was raised in India. He was a monk in India. If anybody has ever heard of Woodstock, the concert that happened in the 60s, the introduction of Woodstock was a speech done by a man named Sri Swami Satchidananda. That is the guy that started the yoga school that I went to learn yoga. So it is very traditional and Indian based. It is very a lot to use with meditation. It is a moving meditation. It is slower. You learn how to breathe while you're in these postures. We go through a whole bunch of different things. We're going through the koshas, the different aspects of you, the different levels of you. We're trying to ease out the tension in your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, and your physical body. And it's not demonic. And when I teach class there or anywhere else, a lot of times you don't hear me say none of them. And if I do, you can replace that with amen. You can replace it with shalom. You can replace it with whatever. Insert religion here. Because yoga don't care. Yoga's not worried about that. Yoga is worried about the Most High in you. And the Most High in you, Jesus, whatever you call it, is represented by your breath. Okay?
So it's really it's forcing you to be present, to
They don't
live.
force you to do nothing, but you must be in the present moment. You cannot be in the past and you cannot be in the future. That is ego. Ego does not function. The ego, like right now, we're in the present moment, right? You're talking to me, I'm talking to you. We're in the present moment. But we're still tied to the past somehow, and we're still tied to the future somehow, right? Because there's certain topics you didn't talk about yet. You got to reach in that's going to be in the future. So your ego has to compartmentalize that. Okay, that's for the future, right? And then I go, well, remember what I said before 10 minutes ago? Now your ego or that part of your brain has to tie to the past to bring it into the present moment. Yoga, we ain't caring about none of that.
Just here and now, right now.
Right. And the only person that has to worry about that and still keep their ego to a minimum is me, the yoga teacher. Because I know in real life, you got somewhere to go in an hour. And I got to make sure I finish on time.
Right, because we talked about this a little bit earlier. We're especially here in America, we're in a instant gratification phase. We're in it's got to happen right now. I've got to have it right now, right now.
No such thing as instant gratification when you're doing true yoga. No such
Right,
thing.
right, and I think that's why a lot of people have a hard
Or
time
better. Oh,
doing
I'm
it.
sorry, Godmama. I'm sorry, Godmama. I have to rephrase that. Instant gratification in yoga is something that none of you, can handle. Not even me. I said before, enlightenment should not last forever. Because if enlightenment lasted forever, we'd all be enlightened and we all be crazy. Okay? You can get enlightened in a second and go bonkers. Okay? You can reach God and you got to come back. You think your spirit really wants to come back here if it's touched God already? Screw your brain, screw the rest of you. If you are such a religious person, think about it. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and your spirit connected with the Holy Spirit you've been looking for, and then all of a sudden the Holy Spirit kicks your ass back to this body. You think you're gonna be happy, especially if you remember that? No, you're not. You won't be able to handle it, because if that's the case, we be looking at God every day. God will be walking and talking and all kinds of shit. Jesus will be here. You can't handle it. What's wrong with y'all? Not y'all.
No, that's right. I know
Y'all,
that's
you had
right.
it right.
Okay. And yes, your breath is the most important thing. Nikki, yes, I agree. Especially when you're in that frame of mind or in that yeah, frame of mind. When you're wanting
And
to
all that is
clarify,
yoga. It's called
purify.
pranayama. And one thing I tell people, you know what's the devil? Holding your breath. You want to go crazy? Hold your breath. Stop holding your breath.
Stop holding
Because
your
So
that
breath.
happens
Breathe.
naturally.
So we've came to the understanding that yoga is more about the breath and control. And let me use my words right. And fuck it, correct me, Shree. And having control of the breath.
You can say control. It's just easier. I'm gonna say restraint because I'm a yoga teacher.
Restraining
You
the
say
breath.
control because you good. Everybody else gonna understand.
So
Trust
I
me.
get so yoga is not just stretching. Stretching is not yoga. Yoga is about restraining the breath and the ego. Okay. And so when a person wants to do yoga, say they're like, "Ooh, I want to do yoga now." Where should they start? Because we heard the clip, don't start at Z because you might end up experiencing a spiritual psychosis. Start at A. Where
What
would
is
A
A?
be?
See, and that's see. That's where it gets tricky because before COVID, right? I could go to all these yoga studios and do it at least, take a yoga class at least one time and see what resonates with me, right?
Mhm.
Well, I can go see what yoga studio resonates with me or this and that and the third. But now that COVID is over with and there's not a lot of yoga studios out there, it's really hard to figure out where to start because even when you have like yoga videos and stuff like that, I tell people all the time, you don't want to go to a yoga class, right? And you pick up a yoga DVD. This is how old I'm talking because, the young kids don't know what a damn DVD is. So you pick up a yoga DVD. I'll tell you who's the good teacher. The good teacher is the one in the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes of that video, they tell you, this is a guide. Do not start your yoga practice here. Please go to someone, go to a yoga teacher, physically watch what they do, then come to this. If you can't go to somebody, I want you to watch this entire video at least once without doing anything. Just sit and watch. Then the second time, you can try some things. Because if there's no one there to really show you what it is, you're going to hurt yourself. And don't get me wrong, there are teachers out there that have no idea what they're doing and they will hurt you. But at the same time, there are students that come in there with this attitude, like with their ego, like, oh, I can do anything. And this teacher's so beautiful. They're going to make me do this. And it's like, no, teachers don't always work like that, especially if it's one teacher and 50 people in the room. You really think that teacher's going to be able to focus on you? Not everybody's me, which is another reason why I'm so stern, Lurky. Because I make sure to look at everyone and make sure, and even if I can't see you, I'm imagining you and what you will do.
You're very
Mine,
attentive. You're attentive.
listen, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all something. The yoga school that I went to, that I got my teacher training from, that came from that Swami, they gave you a choice, okay? They said, okay, graduation's about to happen, guys. And this is for the first level of yoga teacher training, okay? Would you like a Sanskrit name? If you don't want a Sanskrit name, it's cool. If you would like one, let us know. And back then, what would happen was if you
A what?
chose to get a Sanskrit name.
What
Remember,
is that?
Sanskrit is the language, the ancient language that Hinduism and yoga share. Okay? Especially when it comes to mantras. All right?
Okay.
Right. So
So
usually,
what's the purpose of getting a Sanskrit name? Like, I'm confused. What's going on? Why would I get a name change? Is that because I'm dedicating myself to Hinduism or yoga?
no, it is because I'm dedicating myself to a certain vibration. And I'm trusting those people to hold me to that.
Okay.
That name will
Okay.
connotate a certain vibration. Now, sometimes you do get a Hindu goddess name or Hindu god name, depending on what happens. So hold on, let me tell you the process so you understand, okay? So when I decided to get my Sanskrit name, the process was that it would be 4 swamis, 4 monks, with the teachers, right? With my 2 teachers and the director of the teacher training, who was not a monk, but they have done yoga for over 30, 40 years and they're masters in meditation, all that good stuff. They would all sit and they would meditate on me, right? And then they would all come up with a name for me, which was best for me, or which they thought was best for me. Now, even if they gave me the name and I didn't like it, I don't have to tell nobody this name. What do you mean? No harm, no foul, right?
Right.
They gave me the name Bhairavi.
The name what?
Bhairavi.
Okay.
That's
what does that
pretty.
mean?
Bhairavi. Bhairavi actually means terrible. It is one of the 108 names of the goddess Kali. She is one of the fiercer versions of Kali. She is considered the tough love goddess, and she will make her kids great, or she will eat her kids if she knows that they're going to do devilishment.
Oh wow.
See, Nikki, they have devilish ways over their demonic shit.
She helps you to overcome your fears. Any woman that wants to learn Tantra, the real Tantra, not the 5 left-handed paths of Brahmachara, is called a Bhairavi. Okay.
Okay, come on.
When Shree said that last part of the tantra, I just giggled because everywhere you turn, you see sex tantra yoga.
And that
Girl.
And that is the left-handed path. But wait, that is the left-handed path. That is considered the wrong way to do tantra. And it's told that if you do the left-handed path, you will go further down the path of sin and you will become an asura quicker.
Latanya, you better stop. Look, she did stop. What's up, Lion Pelt?
So what would okay, let's play devil's advocate. Hey Lion Pelt, let's play devil's advocate real quick, Shree.
And yes, Nikki, it does look like Aramaic on paper.
What are the
lucky.
benefits to and excuse me for my terms, invoking or becoming the Arasura? the quote unquote demon, what would the benefits of that be? To
Well, you see
use
demons all day. They get short-term benefits all day, but karma kicks everybody's ass. Karma kicks all our asses, everyone.
listen.
Karma is the weapon, not yoga. Karma will defeat an asura. Karma will defeat a god. Karma will defeat a demon. Karma don't, and a human, and an animal, and a roach, and a rock.
Some of y'all need to be doing yoga over there because you got roaches.
Now, Nikki,
Oh,
I wanted to go left-handed isn't wrong, right? Left-handed isn't wrong, but what do humans tend to do with their egos? Aren't many humans addictive based? It's easy for them to get addicted to something. So let's say I want to reach samadhi, I want to reach ananda, I want to reach nirvana. They are not the same thing, okay? They're really not. Samadhi is absorption, ananda is bliss, and nirvana is a place, right? Like heaven. So I want to reach all these things, and I'm going to reach it through sex. But I got herpes, AIDS, syphilis, all kinds of other shit. And I'm a sex addict, and my pum pum or my dingaling will fall off by the time I am satisfied with the amount of orgasms that I get, that I reach that nirvana and that ananda, which is bliss. You know how many times you gotta fuck to maintain bliss? Think that's good? You know what else is a part of the left-handed path? Alcohol. I can drink and reach nirvana all day. You know what happens with alcohol? I'll catch cirrhosis and I'll die.
you can invoke quote unquote spirits using alcohol or alcohol.
And hey, is that demonic or are we all drinking it? Y'all
It's
still
demonic
drinking
as hell.
wine for the blood of Jesus, right?
Ooh, not the blood.
Don't they call it Jesus? Jesus juice.
That's right.
I got my Jesus juice.
I never got baptized or none of that. But damn right, I made my confession to my Catholic priest in high school and told him that I said that I was communion and all that good shit because I was hungry and thirsty and I wanted a fucking biscuit and some wine. Shit. A little wafer and some wine, whatever the fuck they put in my mouth. I'm hungry, bitch. I'm hungry and I'm thirsty. And I was a low level alcoholic because of my daddy. So I wanted to make sure I got the wine and not the grape juice. Come on
The
now.
Welch's. Mm-hmm.
Right. Anybody got time?
They do that on the West Coast too, Nikki. They do that on the West Coast. If you greet a nigga with the left hand, that's mad disrespect, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If you greeting up a little thug, you got to do it the right way.
But you pass it to the left when you smoking the ganja. You pass it.
Yeah, but it
Always pass to the
also,
left.
in order for you to operate anything on your right hand side of your body, you're using the left hemisphere of your brain. So it's not that the left hand is evil or wrong or right is right.
It's maybe the right side of the brain that's wrong. Let's talk
But
about that.
the right side is what the
right side of the
creative.
hemisphere controls the left side of your body. And yes, that's supposed to be the creative part and all of that, the
Exactly.
spiritual side,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then the right side is supposed to be all logic and all of that good stuff.
Exactly.
So if the right side is logic, I'm just trying to put this together because my brain
In
is
your
taking
brain, though,
place.
what? Yeah.
Right. If the right side is logic of the brain and it controls the left hand,
The
right?
left side.
We call it left-handed magic. Are we uh, insinuating it has to do with logic? Or
Godmomma.
that's
Correctamundo.
I was just going
Correctamundo.
somewhere, but I
And
don't
I'm
know where I'm
saying
gonna end
correct the
up.
mundo as far as the American side to it is. Because if I explain the the yogic side, it'll look completely different. Yoga is so neutral, it's not even funny, y'all.
Right. Like I feel like we're making, and I say we as a society, or I'll even throw TikTok under the bus because TikTok was going crazy with yoga is demonic. That we're putting doing too much. We're we're making it into something that it's really not. We're making it into something that it wasn't even designed to be,
I got
right?
a question for you, Godmama. When you see those videos on TikTok, yoga is demonic, do you see it from more white people or black people?
You said what? What was the
I
question?
saw it from whenever I saw is yoga demonic, was it more white people or black people?
Talking,
Oh,
saying that
oh,
yoga
okay.
is demonic.
At first it was white people, so I kind of dismissed it a little bit, but the further I got, people from Africa were saying it. People who used to be in spirituality but have converted back to Christianity were saying it. But it all kind of had this same undertone of fear of I didn't know what I got myself into. You know what I mean?
Well,
Do you
even
know when I
homeboy,
go ahead?
the older
Hmm.
teacher, well, even homeboy, he was like, "Look, y'all don't even know what you're messing with." I love that
Mhm.
example. You starting at Z, bitch. You ain't went through eight. You know, supposed to start at 8, but you didn't even jump in at J. Like you,
But
Right.
see,
you know what I'm saying?
the thing with Sadhguru is he's keeping it real. He's Indian.
Right.
He's keeping it real. He's not saying yoga is demonic. But I find that it's a lot of black people that are now saying yoga is demonic. When I started teaching yoga, let me tell you something. When I started teaching yoga, we was going to Christian churches, Muslim mosques, synagogues, all of that. I teach what's called integral yoga. I told y'all it was founded by a Swami, right? He was very much into interfaith. He wanted to bring the religions together, even though he knew yoga was a science and really had nothing to do with any of this, right? He wanted yoga to be the thing that brought the Hindus and the Jews and the Muslims and the Christians and the Rastas and all of them together, okay? I have taught yoga in that yoga shala, which is a school, because people lived there and there were swamis there. I have taught in a room where there was a Jewish man in his full gear, a Hasidic Jew, right? Sitting there, and across from him are two Muslims in their full gear. The woman was in a burqa, okay? And they're all sitting across from each other. And I'm saying we're going to do 3 ohms. If you would like to say shalom, feel free. If you would like to say amin, feel free. Because Om is the universal sound vibration that creates a peaceful feeling and unites the space. If
Mhm.
I let you sit silent and listen to a generator, doesn't it have a
Mhm.
mm?
I love
Is
that
that
sound.
demonic? That's Om. That's an inanimate object plugged in with electricity, and it's doing Om better than you. Is that demonic?
Not it's doing its own better than you. Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you. I'm sitting there in the class. I hear the shalom, shalom, shalom. I hear the amin, amin. I said to them, at the end of class, we're going to chant our mantra that we have. If you have a specific mantra that you would like, or affirmation or prayer that you would like to say out loud or to yourself, please feel free to do it. And that is what they did. And at the end of class, they got their shit together. They looked at each other, bowed to each other, and left and went about their
Not
business.
yoga saving the world and the haters are mad.
Period. Because
It
that's what it
could if you
sounds like
let
to
them.
me.
It
That's what
could
it
if you
sounds
let
like.
it. I've been to plenty of churches, and I've been to plenty Christian churches, Catholic churches, and they were like, "Well, we're not going to say Om. I don't need you to say Om. You want to say Jesus a couple times?" I pulled out the Bible. I pulled out hymn books when I taught my class there. The prayer books. Do y'all know that prayer is a form of meditation? You still have to sit in a specific seat. When you put your hands together in prayer, that is called a mudra. Okay? And you say whatever little thing you need to say. The Lord is my shepherd, or our Father who art in heaven. You say that every other night, every night. That's a mantra. And then you sit in
Listen to
silence
this
and
though.
you wait for whatever. Is
Look
that
at this.
demonic?
Look at this though. Hold on. Nikki just put it on the screen, babe. Electricity is actually measured in OHM.
Exactly.
I'm not fixing to play with y'all today.
And they call it Om. And the actual spelling of Om is AUM, because that is the way your mouth is supposed to be shaped. Om. The M leads to the hum, which leads to silence. Is there any religion in that? No. Stop trying to humanize God and making the devil into God. Y'all turning the devil into God, and y'all spend all day trying to humanize God. That's stupid to me. That's not yoga. Yoga don't do that. Yoga puts the devil where he need to be and put God where he need to be and put me where I need to be. Stop. And I'm not talking to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just...
Come on, Shree. I know that's right. Come on.
These people don't want black people to reach the higher levels. They don't. They don't want y'all reaching no higher level. They don't want y'all being able to put your ego to the side and say, hey, chill out. They don't want that. They want y'all to be violent and you know, shaking your ass and doing all this dumbass shit. They don't want y'all to sit there and have mindfulness. They don't want it. That's why they all these people, it's demonic, it's demonic. Fuck out of here. You demonic today. I don't have no problem saying I got overwhelmed. I got over, you know, I got too much. I had to what's the word? I got burnt out. I got burned out. Not just because of my energy, but because there's an energy transfer there. If I'm sitting there teaching a class and I got my energy flowing, I'm trying to send out good energy to you. What the fuck kind of energy you think I'm gonna get? You think I'm gonna get your good energy? No, I'm gonna get your bullshit. Because I'm in the space. I'm the repository just like that room. I gotta protect myself. And I know I'm a lot. I know I've been through a lot. Whenever I did a teacher training and they had to deal with what I went through, they were like, yo, you are such a spiritual person. You got so much this type of energy. And I'll be like, you know what? Here's some black tourmaline. Here's some black obsidian. Here's some labradorite, because I'm so sorry that I put all my energy on you. I got an even better story for y'all. When I used to work at the yoga studio, right? We used to have all kind of crazy people coming there. Not just because I was in the heart of Greenwich Village, not just because I worked across the street from the LGBTQTIA center, not because the Greenwich Village was where you had homeless people and then the richest people on the other side of a freaking road. I worked in these places. One time, I never forget, a man walked in, a homeless man, and he was white. He wasn't even black. A homeless man walked in, and he walks up to the two of us, because I worked at reception, and he goes, you're demons. Both of you are demons. And we're like, why are we demons? And he was like, because you're doing this yoga, and it's demonic. My coworker, I didn't say nothing. I just had a smile on my face. My coworker looked at me, and I looked back at my coworker. My coworker goes, well, you see her? You see this girl right here? And he's like, yeah, she was a demon. When she walked in here, she was a demon. She even said she was a demon. But now, she's not a demon anymore. I think I'm a little bit more angelic, huh? I think heaven has accepted you. Maybe I'm like Lucifer. I can still come to the heavenly meetings or I can have private one-on-ones with God now. I think so. I think so, Biden. Yeah, but I was a demon. I'm not a demon anymore. Because if I was, I probably would have ate your fucking face and beat your ass and kick you the hell out of here. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna say Om Shanti and thank you.
Oh boy. So is being an NAB being a demon? Let me stop. Let me stop. What's up, 504?
Okay.
Hi, baby.
Like taboo, I'm still a demon, y'all. But that
They
don't
say,
mean yoga
don't
is
we love to
demonic.
say some shit over here? We're on demon time.
Right. I'm on demon time. The fuck?
Oh my gosh, it's
And y'all
crazy.
want to know what yoga did for me? It made me honest. I'm still a demon, but yoga is not demonic. I'm not gonna blame that on yoga. That's stupid. Yoga saved my life too many times for it to be a demon. Don't do that to yoga, y'all. You're the demon. I'm the demon. Whenever you decide to be a demon, that's what we got free will for. And free will is not just yes. Free will is no.
Yeah. Come on now. Come on now.
You know how many swamis I stumped with that one? That's why I'm so good at Raja Yoga. Swami was like, but you're supposed to be kind. Aren't I being kind if I say no? Aren't I being selfless and honest if I can say no when it's necessary for my safety and yours so that we can all be blissful together and live in the present moment of no instead of the falseness of yes?
That's right. Let's go. And that's a word.
And a
And
verb.
that's a word and a verb. Come on now. Come on now. Thank you, Shree, for coming over today. What a blessing. What an education. I didn't even realize. And Godmomma brought this subject to the floor. Um, I was like, of course, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do the show, but I had no knowledge. This had never crossed my mind. Is yoga demonic? That had never crossed my mind. I'd never thought about that. Like Nikki was saying in the chat, I really had a stereotype type of perception in my head of what yoga is. I do understand that it has a history and it comes from a different culture. I know that it's been gentrified. And so that's just all my knowledge. I'm very ignorant. Now I do learn a lot from you when you go live and you get into it, but I don't practice it, if that makes sense. So it's just not I've never considered myself but I like to stretch or I like to be in nature. I'm one of those. I'm granola-ish, but I
Right.
don't
And if you
do
focus and concentrate on something, and then like even daydreaming is a part of meditation. Haven't you ever daydreamed that you just got lost in the sauce and you're like, wait a minute, what time is it? You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Like,
I call it zoned out. Yep, I'll be zoned out.
exactly. Don't
Mhm.
we do that too?
In
We
a
we
trance. In a trance.
okay.
Mhm.
And I'll
Don't
let
get
y'all
me to
know
gardening.
something. When
Mhm.
it comes, thank you. When it comes to Ayurveda, which is the sister physical science to yoga, that does include like surgery and stuff like that. And if we're talking about yoga, even venturing into Hinduism and how they all come together, there's one thing that brings them all together besides the breath. It is weed. Weed is considered a soma, one of the healing nectars, one of those nectars that in the Hindu text, the gods and the asuras were fighting for, were fighting each other for. Not this earth and not human, soma. And one of those somas is weed. Okay? In Ayurveda, if you are sick and you have certain types of ailments, they will prescribe bong, which is like, like weed with tobacco in it and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or they make you eat the weed, or they make you drink a tea.
This conversation was everything that I needed today. Because when I tell you, when I saw all of those clips start popping up, flooding the news feed, that yoga is demonic and people saying, "Oh, I practice yoga for X amount of years, and here is my testimony." And it, I was possessed. Like I was really starting to get a little concerned. Um, just because people are doing things that they don't even know what they're doing most of the time. Most people just jump on the fad, and here we are. So I
Or
was,
some of those people know exactly what they're doing and their ego still gets caught up.
right. So that led my brain going down these long rabbit holes of, is this new wave of yoga? Is that what's causing people to go crazy because they're starting to become possessed? And then I'm grateful because you came and you broke it down and you gave us every definition that we needed to let us know that yoga isn't even associated or even cares about demonic or angelic. That's not even basically their vocabulary.
Yeah, and right or wrong is not even in their in the yogic vocabulary. It's not supposed to be.
And you taught us how to start at A. And A was basically using your discernment when going out here to find yoga instructors.
Mm-hmm.
And Lurk and I talk about that almost every podcast, discernment.
Mm-hmm.
Building up your discernment so you cannot get caught in these web of lies and these demonic possessions. Because I do believe in a demonic possession, but that's just, I say demonic possession because there's no other terms or words that I can give it. But I do believe that a person can be possessed by a certain energy that is not nice
Mm-hmm.
or
I
or
tried to
healthy.
post. I tried to type in the chat something, but it didn't go through. I guess because my phone is like overheating and everything. But I want.
In our chat, in the
Yeah,
YouTube chat.
yeah, yeah. But it's all good. I'm gonna say it. All right. And if there, sorry, y'all. If there is a book that you would like to start from to know anything about yoga, I would suggest that you get the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Okay? That is considered the yogic Bible, and not because it has stories of Jesus and God and the devil and Adam and Eve. No, it's not that kind of a book. It is a very neutral book. It tells you what yoga is, what your problems are reaching to the goal, what you need to do to reach to the goal, what happens to you as you reach the goal, and why you got to let all these things go in order for you to reach the goal. Because this book will tell you, you will get powers. That's where the other demonic thing comes in, right? Because you get certain things called siddhis, powers, and that's just from meditating. That's not from doing downward dog or none of that. That's just from sitting on your ass and meditating.
What kind of powers? Are they powers that you
Okay.
already have and you're just strengthening them?
Well, that depends on your point of view, Lurky. Do you believe in astral projection? Do you believe in making yourself bigger? Do you believe in making yourself smaller? Do you believe in mind transference? Do you believe in these things?
Oh gosh, yes, I do. Yes, I
Right.
do. Well, because I've
So then it is
experienced them.
capable.
I experienced
Right.
Can
them.
I
No.
make myself invisible? I've been waiting on that since the eclipse, and
It
it
is
just ain't
possible.
hit yet.
It is possible. You can get omniscience. Complete mastery over your senses. Okay, so the eight major siddhis are anima, to become very small, mahima, to become very big, lagima, very light, garima, heavy, prapti, to reach anywhere, prakamaya, to achieve all one's desires, isattva, I'm sorry, the ability to create anything, and vasitva, vasitva, the ability to command and control everything. Doesn't that sound like some God powers to you?
So hold on though, but because earlier we were talking about yoga being killing the ego, not killing, but restraining the ego, controlling, disciplining the ego, right?
That's right.
But you're saying here you can get superpowers where you can control everything. So that's very contradicting to me.
Well, of course it is.
Hinduism is very contradicting to me as well because they have a god for everything, like we were saying earlier.
But hold on. I'm going to tell you why that is contradicting from this book of Yoga Sutras, okay? Because like I said, with this book of Yoga Sutras, it tells you this is yoga, right? These are the steps you need to take to reach samadhi, which is absorption, all right? If my focus is on the Most High God or the source of all things, and I'm trying to absorb the qualities of God, what do you think is going to happen to me? But because I am in this body, right, with this ego, even if I get those powers, there is a chance that the ego will take over and use them for selfish reasons. That is why in book 4, because the powers are in book 3, they tell you, they're honest. They're like, look, you do all these things, you're going to get this. But here's book 4 to tell you, you're still going to fail with these powers if you just stay here. Because you're not God yet. You have to let that go. Because that is the final thing. That's what your ego wanted. And remember, we're supposed to refrain the ego.
Right. And this turns into free will, right? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
It is the ultimate test of your mastery over your ego before you hit the total absorption of the Most High and become that thing. Because the Most High don't care about the omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipotence. Most High don't care. Most High just is, right?
Yeah. Wow. This is awesome. This is amazing. This was way better. This is great. Godmomma, you should start picking more shows and just surprise me with some shit because I enjoy learning, right? These are I could have these type of conversations all day because I would say I practice some of these things and all I do is just listen to my body. That's it. That's my only recommendation when people say, what's your diet? What's your this? I just listen to my body. That's it. When my body says, go get yourself a fruit gusher, I will. When my body says, go take your outside, go outside, I do. When my body says, and right now I'm craving a pool so bad, I need to go swimming. It's time. Get in the water. So I listen to those things. That is it. Even when I'm angry, and it says it's okay to be angry, I'm like, okay, well, I justify my anger.
And that is yoga. Because like I said before,
there's
you
times I
have
don't
these
listen. I don't
emotions
walk
because
around perfect. I don't walk around perfect. There's times
you're
where
not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be, Lurky. That's what I'm saying. All these emotions that we have, even if they're negative, they're here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Let's use anger as an example. People get angry because most of the time they're not being heard.
Right.
And they have something important to say. Right?
Yes.
Especially if you have a child. You're trying to show this child the right way. You have to train this child. You have to get this child together, right? And the child ain't listening. You need that child to listen. So yes, you're gonna get angry. You might discipline that child.
My anger comes out of frustration. I've identified that in my life.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing yoga wants you to do, Lurky, is put it back in your pocket when you don't need it anymore. Yoga don't want you to keep that all day. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where I
You
get
can
to
be
fucking up.
frustrated.
That's where I get to
Right.
fucking up. I'm like, oh, bitch, fuck
There
a
you go.
pocket. I'm going to
There,
frame this motherfucker. Oh, this
there you
going in a
go.
fucking frame. And we
Girl,
going
I
to
used
blow
to
it
carry
up.
the motherfuckers on my back. And even as a yogi, motherfuckers would be like, I be mad at the goddamn swami. I'm going off on the swami. You know, I'm trying to be nice and neat and shit. But I'm going off on the swami. And he'd be like, oh, you going off on me? I'd be like, look at that. Then Guru Dev said to put the motherfucker back in my pocket. I don't want to put it in my pocket. I made it a scarf. It's wrapped around my motherfucking neck. And it's not covering my mouth, okay? And I got mittens too. And it's cold outside. So you gonna give this anger until the fuck I'm ready. What?
Okay.
It's called awareness. And I was very justified in being angry with the Swami. Okay? I really was. It took him a while, but he had to come and apologize to me. But he had to see what it was. And when I was ready to let it go, I let that motherfucker go. But yoga taught me to have awareness about what the fuck it is.
And also something I've learned, and I think, I learned it. I went through some things, so I learned it younger. But nigga, place your anger accordingly. I hate for people to get upset and take it out across. Now everything's got to burn. No.
Mm-hmm. I'm a
Justify
scorched
your
earth
anger,
person.
and like you were saying, put it in your pocket, because we don't need to burn everything down just because you're angry. Like, go address that and then move forward.
And that's why I told that man I was a demon. Because I was scorched earth. I held grudges. I cussed everybody. I didn't give a damn. And I hurt you too. You
That's
heard
a
me,
pet
I hurt you.
peeve of mine, Sheree. I really do. But I've been affected by it. That's why it's a pet peeve. I've been
Yes.
affected by somebody that scorched me because I was just there loving you. And it was like, what?
Right. Right.
And I'm not talking
And
about my love
now,
life, y'all. I'm talking about, my family. It was like,
no, I get it. I suffer from depression. So you have no idea how many apology tours I have to go on. And my depression really gets big around my period.
Mine
So that
too.
was one of the reasons why I had to do yoga, because I had to like control all these hormonal changes and all these different things that were going on with me. It was like I wasn't drinking anymore, but I still had to go on apology tours because my depression would make me isolate, or it would make me lash out at people, or my period is coming, I can't handle these hormones, I'm throwing up all day, or I'm bleeding through my pants and people aren't understanding it, so I'm lashing out, you know what I'm saying? Scorched earth, basically. There'll be times where I'm yelling at people for the littlest thing, and they be like, but this is so small. And I'm like, no, it ain't small, da, 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 da. And then my period comes.
Oh, so you're like, see, I just go like, oh, I'm grouchy, I'm feisty, but I know that though. Like I stay into it. I'm like, oh, but I haven't had. I do see some people that are women. I do see some women that be raging, and as long as just don't scorch it down, bitch. You could be as mad as you want, justifiably, but to scorch everything down, get a grip.
But yoga gave me control over that. Yoga even gave me enough control that even if I wasn't aware of it right then and there, I got aware of it more sooner than before, and I was able to be like, Lurky, you don't have to come to me and tell me I fucked you up. You know what I'm saying? I would come to you and be like, yo, Lurky, I think yesterday I fucked you up. I think I did a scorched earth move on you. I am so sorry. I was angry, but bitch, my period must be coming in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Or some ass shit. Like, I really do apologize to you. Whereas before yoga, I wouldn't have did none of that. I'd be like, okay, another bridge burn.
I think that grounding, breathing, meditating, I think those things regulate our nervous system, which
They
will
do.
correlate, which also correlates to our hormones and our regulatoriness. And when
Our
we are as
parasympathetic
women
nervous system.
when we're not doing that for ourselves, it's like a snowball, right?
Right. Oh, and
Mhm.
I got one more thing that I wanted to mention to
Yeah,
everyone.
come on, come on. Also, Shree,
Um,
do you want us to drop the link and let anybody up? We haven't. We've been selfish with you.
sure, you
We did
can.
share it with
I don't
Salt,
mind
but
that at all. I don't mind that at
okay.
all. Like,
I
yeah,
think we can
yeah.
do. I mean, is everybody comfortable with like 30 more minutes or how? We've been here
I'm
2 hours.
cool.
I'm chilling. So
I'm
Mhm.
cool.
I mean,
But
it's Friday.
one thing that I did want to say, yoga was made for women in a sense, okay? But it
Mhm.
was dominated by men for the longest time because of the patriarchal society that we live in.
Of course.
That being said, I'm taking it back to the whole five-handed left-handed path of tantra. Most of the poses that we do today were created for male monks to remain celibate
Mm. Okay. Okay.
because they are external. That's why a lot of poses for women do different things because we are internal. Our Swadhisthana chakra is
Mhm.
way stronger than a man's because we have, our Swadhisthana chakra is located in our womb where our second brain is. Whereas
Mm.
for a man, the third chakra, the Manipura chakra, is the chakra that would be stronger for them. The fire, the will, because that's their gut. They don't have a reproductive system.
Right, not the same. Salt's back for the third time. Salt, are you here for a second? And hold on. No, because I'm gonna be messy. Salt, can you talk for a second or are you just listening? Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can
What's
listen.
going on? What's up?
Oh, okay. Hi, baby. For the third time. But real quick though, because we were just addressing anger control and Cherie was saying something. I know that you two had a fallout. Are you guys over that? Yes or no? Can we have a family moment or is this too much or this isn't the right time?
It's
Because
not
we were
like we're
just
beefing. It's not like we're beefing or I've been going in on her or anything. We just had a disagreement.
can we move past that disagreement?
My battery is about to die. I'm still here. I'm gonna just go to my computer real quick. No, no, no.
Okay.
I'm coming. I might go to my computer real quick.
Tree said hell
Um,
no.
I didn't want to say hell no, but I didn't say yes. Hold on.
And on that note, we're about to take a quick
Uh,
commercial break. I love
okay.
y'all. I'm always grateful and
We don't, yeah,
thankful
we,
for
Can
each and
y'all
every
drop the
one of
link in
you.
the chat for me, please, though,
it's
real
right here,
quick?
baby. It's there. It's there.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, come right back.
Well, yeah, yeah. It was 3 times. Family issues. Family definitely comes before this podcast. So,
Oh,
sorry
hell
for having
no.
family
Hell,
issues.
hell no.
Sorry for having family issues. Okay.
Podcast
Um,
comes before family, period.
right. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, in my opinion, it yoga is not demonic. It's all about intent. What is your intent with doing this? Much like many other things with life. And I agree with Cherie earlier when she said, well, first of all, you can't kill your ego, number one. And number two, anybody telling you to try to kill your ego, I would remind you to refer back to when Charles Manson said that to his to his people. Kill your ego. When you kill your ego, which is connected to your individualism, you're killing yourself. You're killing off your individuality, which is going to make you more susceptible to outside influence. You don't
Mm.
want to be, last thing you want is to be brought into a fucking cult because somebody gave you the bright idea to kill your ego. You thought it was a good idea. And now you do everything they say. Next thing you know, you're on the news with fucking Jim Jones.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, you better talk about it.
I've recommended yoga to people because, well, as you
Have
guys know,
you
I'm a
done
truck
yoga?
driver.
Have you done
Huh?
yoga? Have you ever done yoga?
Well, I would say yes, but as you guys said earlier, yoga is not stretching. Stretching is not yoga. I've done stretching, and I would recommend yoga to people because you all know I'm a truck driver, and there's certain health hazards that come with that, like poor leg circulation.
Yes.
Me, I'm tall, and so sitting upright in this seat for 10 to 12 to sometimes 14 hours a day, it takes a toll. I used to have lower back problems till I started stretching it out on the regular, and now I don't have lower back problems. So anybody looking to, I guess, enhance your life as far as yoga goes, if yoga helps to make you a better person, by all means. I don't think it's demonic. Almost anything in life can be demonic if you have the intent for it. I personally, I don't think yoga is demonic.
And see, I don't want people to take the word demonic and just think it's like some evil da 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 da. It goes back to just being controlled and not having a mind of your own. So take everything with maybe a grain of salt, yes, but I mean, discernment, people. You know what I'm saying? Discernment, because you never know. Some of these yoga people, they're stereotyped, according to me and Nikki over here. These white, crunchy, Whole Food shopping, Lululemon shopping.
Lululemon.
You know what I'm saying? Got their James Avery charm bracelets on.
Well, we could just chalk that up to you two watching too much Desperate Housewives.
That's not true. No, baby. Come to the Woodlands. Come to the Woodlands, Sinister Salt. Come to the Woodlands. Okay. Listen, they are all there.
Come to Orange County, California. I guarantee you we got more. I know.
Yes, you guys are the green state. Oh, we keep adding her at the same time.
Mhm.
Okay, Tree Bear's back, and we also
I'm back.
added Nikki
got
Crowns. But Nikki
crayons
Crowns,
in the
before you
bullpen.
come in, my love, just hold tight for us. We have a family situation.
Of course.
So, all right, Shribad, you know where you ended off. And Salt, I don't know if you heard Salt. He said he agreed with you with damn near everything you said. So,
Wait, what?
I said, I don't know if you heard Salt while you were getting your computer.
I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, Salt basically agreed. I don't know, Salt, do you want to speak? He just agreed with you as far as yoga. People need to use it. He said he's a truck driver. He's tall. That comes with poor circulation issues. There might be some stuff going on in the back. So doing yoga. He said, though, yoga, when you said yoga is not stretching, stretching's not yoga. So no, he's never done yoga, but he does say that people need to stretch. He does promote yoga, I guess to say. So
Wonderful.
I don't know. Salt, did I miss anything? I don't know.
You basically got it for the most part.
Don't miss.
Okay. So, but back this train up because we were talking about anger and directing it and burning streets down, and coming back to those things.
Believe
So
it or
I don't
not,
know.
I agree with Nikki. Anger is useful. Anger gets shit done. I agree with Nikki.
Okay. And Fundi's back. Fundi, we also dropped the link. Anywho, so Shri and Salt, are we good? Are we moving past things? Is there something we want to hash out, or are we good? And we can all just move forward as a happy family like nothing ever happened.
Well, see, I'm still human. I can't quite do that.
Okay.
I mean, we can be cordial and all that, but it's all good. I can sit here, we can talk. It's all gravy, but
Okay. Cool.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. And that is maturity. That is that's maturity.
All right. I just didn't want any awkwardness and not us address anything. It is what it is. So, but moving forward, we have Nikki Crayons, and like I said, Fundi, I don't know if you see it in the chat, baby. I didn't pin it because I'm on my NAB channel, but the link's in the chat, and you can come up as well, Fundi, if you wanted to speak on this. Nikki Crayons, what you had to say, my lovey, about us and the demonicness of yoga?
Well, I learned a lot today because I didn't really know a whole lot about yoga. I mean, I still could say I don't know a whole lot about yoga besides what was discussed here. And my stereotyping of people who do yoga is based on the people who I have seen where I grow up who do yoga. I don't, it's not really from watching TV, and it's not really, I don't know if it is a stereotype or not, but those are literally the people I see carrying around the yoga mats in the yoga clothes, going to the yoga studios with their acai bowls and their green smoothies and their Mercedes with their Pomeranians. Like, that's what I see.
Not the Pomeranians.
I had to be myself again, y'all. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. I had to log in and just be me. I was like, I don't feel good with this rando ass
Typing was life. Oh, that was
avatar.
epic.
Let me come back
Come on,
as me.
Shree.
The
Come on.
typing was
Class.
it.
Listen, they call it Shree bad for a reason. Get it right, okay? They don't call it Shree good. They call it Shree bad.
I'll be the demon for everybody, okay? It's all good shit.
Yeah, but can we define that?
No, we cannot. Not today. No, we are not defining demon
I'm just
today.
trolling Lurk. I'm just trolling Lurk.
Hell no.
No, I'd be the Christian demon right now, not the yogic one.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's enough definition for me. I think I can tell the difference with that. I like that we separated, or that we made a distinction between like the culture of, belief system of, and religion part of what encompasses yoga, and then the verb of yoga, the action of doing the things. I appreciate that we separated that and made a distinction, because if you wrap it all up together, there's too much. It's too much. And there's no way to parse that out.
And
So.
I didn't realize how I didn't realize. See, I can't do studios. I can't go to the studio with these ladies and do yoga. I don't know, something about me. I can do cycling class. I love cycling class, but yoga class has never screamed to me. Come here. I don't know. I don't know why that is. It just hasn't. For me, but I didn't know it was such a heavy religion, or there was steps to yoga. There was I didn't know meditation was part of yoga. I didn't know all that.
One of the reasons why I've never stepped into a yoga studio is because it's always, again, the stereotype crunchy Pomeranian white women. And I just have a hard time integrating with that spirit. I just really have a hard time with that.
Why?
It feels super Botoxy.
Well, I can tell you what. Can I tell
It
you a quick
feels
story?
inorganic. It's an inorganic feeling. I know the men get upset when women say I feel, but it really is. It's this inorganic feeling that you get. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not even supposed to be here because bitch, you don't even know what you're doing for real. This isn't your culture. What's going on here?
I want to tell you something. What if that feeling that you had is yoga? That is a discernment in itself, walking into a studio and being like, you know what, my energy says this is wrong. These women come off like this. It doesn't make me comfortable. That's also awareness. That's also yoga. You know what I'm saying? To a degree. You don't know nothing about yoga, but you're walking in a yoga studio and you're like, well, I don't feel comfortable here. Whereas you could go to a certain place, not have any expectation, and be like, yo, I feel so at home right here. It could happen like that. I mean, it may not have happened like that, but it could happen also. I'm gonna give you a story. My niece is a grown woman now, okay? But when she was 15 or 16, her high school was like, okay, you're gonna have a yoga teacher come in here and they're gonna teach you yoga. Okay. And my niece is very heavy set. She always was. She came to me that night and I was already a yoga teacher. And she came to me and she said, Auntie, I never want to do yoga ever again in my life. And I'm like, why? What happened? And she was like, oh, this white lady came in, skinny ass white lady. And, you know, she looking at me like this and I can't do that and da-da-da. And she told me that I'm not good and blah, blah. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, it's because I'm fat, Auntie. And I was like, who told you it's because you fat? Well, she didn't say fat, but she made me feel fat and fuck her and da-da-da-da. Now, the hood in me wanted to go beat that lady ass, right? But I didn't do that. I said, when you gonna see this lady again? I'm never gonna see this lady again. I said, no. When are you supposed to see this lady again? She goes, I'm supposed to see her next week.
So what I decided to do was show my niece how to properly place her feet when she does certain poses. I said, because you are a heavy set girl, I need you to open up your legs a little wider. So when you do your mountain pose, when you do your warrior pose, when you do all these different types of poses, this is how you're going to approach it. This is how you're going to do it. And I want you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out and this and that and the third. Every day before she went to see that lady, she did those little basic things with me. Don't you know when she went to see that lady, she came back to me. I said, well, how was class? She was like, class was fantastic, girl. Auntie, why that lady came up to me and was like, what happened? You doing so good and da-da-da. And I looked at her, I said, because I'm fat and black and my auntie is a real yoga teacher and she showed me what to do.
Okay.
Her problem wasn't that she was fat or anything like that. Her problem is she didn't know how to stand confidently. She didn't know how to move confidently. And that was a superpower to me. I was like, girl, that awareness right there is yoga. You fresh. Come on now. I just got to change your mindset a little bit. You right, Godmomma. Them broads probably was this and that and the third. But when it comes to yoga, it's not about them. It's about you.
There you go. There you go. Master Fundi Fee has blessed us.
Hi, Fundi.
Hey,
Peace.
She been with us the whole time. She done heard everything. Come on, Fundi. Come on.
I just like to point out something very simplistic about yoga. And my stance is yoga is bigger than being demonic. It's so much bigger. And it's so much bigger for this reason. The gods and the demons do yoga. Every picture that you see of the gods and of the demons of India, they are actively doing yoga. So yoga is not small enough to fit demons into. It's big enough that they are in there with the gods, with humans. Yoga is a bridge for all of us to use, all of them, all of the its, to use to channel energy.
See, this is mind breaking to me. You were like, let me be simple. This is mind blowing to me. I didn't know yoga was all this. I literally thought yoga was the stretching part. That's what I thought yoga was, and just hitting certain parts and doing it quietly
and breathing. And breathing.
But
I
all of
didn't
that
know
leads
that
to
yoga was like
balance.
a way of life.
It can be if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be. Balance is what you need. Balance ain't the end all. You know what I mean? Like we all go through ebbs and flows. If your life is all good, at some point in time, something is going to balance that out, and you're going to go through a point of time and struggle. If you've been through a whole lot of struggle and strife, at some point in time, you're going to go through a period of, happiness or things being better. All yoga does is make you aware of both sides and how to navigate through it both, how to navigate through both.
Right.
The problem with humans is they want good all day, and they don't know how to handle the other stuff that is not good for them.
You mean hedonism isn't? That's not the thing? Damn
No,
it.
it's not the thing. Never was the thing. I wish it was the thing.
But we love hedonism.
If you want it to be the thing, you can make it the thing.
Right. Don't be mad at the consequences that happen after.
Exactly. You can do whatever you want.
Scary. I mean,
but isn't that what omnipotence is?
Yeah, it is. And
You
that's
know
why I'm very
everything.
grateful for the life I've built, because baby. And I had to fight. I had to earn it. I did. I had to earn the life I have now. Facts.
It's like how many people want to know everything, but you also have to have understanding with the knowledge. They want all the knowledge, but no understanding.
There's that quote that says, with more wisdom comes more misery.
I think I think that's where ego comes into play because most people listen just to wait their turn to talk. They're not listening to understand.
Definite. That's true. Definitely.
Oh,
I
yeah,
go
for
through
sure.
that a lot.
Ego permeates in so many things in so many ways. I tell people all the time, if you want to understand the ego and how it works and how it gets conquered, go watch the movie Revolver with Jason Stratham and Andre 3000 and the homeboy from Goodfellas.
Revolver. I haven't seen that. I'll have to
I'm
look
gonna
that
pull
up.
it on the big screen. Hold
It's
on,
the
we're gonna
Guy
find it
Ritchie
together.
film.
We're gonna find it together, Godmomma.
Yes,
The
because
Revolver.
everybody immediately stops what they're doing to find this movie.
I like what Fundi said earlier. I know she said it was simple, but it's not simple, but it is simple.
Hell no, that shit. It was simple, but it wasn't to me. My brain went
Like,
like
Well,
a ping
wow,
pong.
simple and easy are
duh,
not always the same.
Yeah,
right?
stars,
Like
seeing stars. Hold on, is this the
yoga.
movie with these white people? Hold on, let me share this. Is this the movie we talking about?
Ray Liotta, Andre 3000, and
2005. Jason Statham. Yeah, right here.
That's
Mm-hmm.
it.
It says it's on Netflix. It says it's on
Ooh-wee.
Netflix. 2005, y'all. It's on Netflix. There you go. Boom.
He had hair in the movie.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Not the Equalizer.
Yes, this is it. Oh no, wait, with Ray Liotta. Facts. This is the movie
Yes.
right here. With
Right
Ray
here.
Liotta.
It's on Netflix, everybody,
Mhm.
if y'all want to watch it tonight. Okay, so tell us about this movie. Come on. We want some balance and yoga, all of that. The
It
choices, the
is so
egos, the
hard to
this.
explain this movie. It's hard to explain it. And if I tell you the plot of the movie, you'll be like, I don't even want to watch.
Okay, don't. I want to be surprised. 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 Maybe we can all get back together soon and discuss what we watch because I'm definitely going to watch it this weekend.
Well, and I want this to go into a part two where we talk about these what'd you call them? Spiritual psychosis people?
Yes, yes. Because when Fundi said that yoga is not small enough to just be demonic, it's big to include God and devil. That was, I don't know if that opened doors in other people's brains, but it opened a
It
lot of
did.
doors in my brain. Like,
To me, to
oh,
me, that
so
puts
It
it
this is
on
where
did.
the
par with
demonic
any
is
other
coming from.
religion.
But it's
So,
like it's where all of the possession is coming from. It's where all of the unknown voices are coming from. If yoga and the ability to meditate is includes God and the devil, includes angels and demons, includes alpha and omega, beginning and end, then you are going to hear God's voice, the devil's voice, your granny's voice, and
Yeah,
then and then Shri
develop
broke
discernment.
it down to that voice might not even be God, the devil, your auntie. That voice just might be your ego. So yoga is huge, and I'm I'm just gonna keep saying I'm grateful for this conversation because it has now expanded my mind from just stretching and breathing.
Whole Foods.
Right? Whole Foods.
I haven't read much on yoga, but I have read a lot on meditation. And if there's one thing I've learned, because a lot of people will agree, too much meditation can be bad because you're going into a certain state of mind that you normally don't access.
Mhm.
It's like you visit parts of yourself that you normally wouldn't visit, and for good reason. So it's like, and they say, you can bring something back with you. And that goes into when I spoke to you guys before about the shadow self, the parts of yourself that you don't like, the parts of yourself that you bury, the parts of yourself that you hide from everyone else. But the thing is, it's like eventually you have to let parts of those out, part of your shadow self out, even if it's little by little, because if you just choose to keep it locked away, eventually it's going to find smaller ways it's going to bring itself out. It's like you either choose to do it.
Shri was saying that's the balance of yoga. Earlier, she was saying it's not to deny or kill it. It's to interact with it, drop it some roses every once in a while, acknowledge it.
Give it a hug.
Don't suffocate it. Don't suffocate it.
Yep. Sometimes give it a hug. That's the whole basis of the inner child thing. That's an aspect of your ego, that whole inner child. And you don't fight your inner child or whatever, even if your inner child is screaming. Sometimes yoga just shows you, hey, give it a hug.
Is meditating an integral part of practicing the act of yoga? Like if you do the stretchy, posy part of yoga, is meditating also a necessary part of that?
In my yoga lineage, yes.
Okay,
In a
the
lot
reason
of
I
different
ask,
styles of hatha yoga, no.
the reason I ask is because I know a lot of people who meditate daily, multiple times a day, et cetera, religiously meditate, but have absolutely nothing to do with yoga, the stretchy, posy part.
That's fine.
So I'm just the reason that was the reason I asked is because people who do yoga have to meditate, but people who meditate don't have to do yoga. That was kind of where I was going with that.
But no, that is true. I'm going to say that is true. But what you get to see is that people who meditate will tend to go towards the physical aspects of yoga, but they might call it stretching because they don't want to incorporate the breath with it. They don't want to do downward dog. They rather just, reach your hands towards your toes, right? If I sit down, I'm sitting down right now. I got my legs out in front of me, right? And I bring my hands and I try to reach my toes. That's a stretch. If a lot of times, when people try to move and bounce and try to get a little further, that's a stretch. But if I take my hands and I put it as close to my toes as I can, I take a deep breath in, lengthen my spine upward, and then as I exhale, I try to go down a little bit deeper without trying to bounce and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's yoga.
I would call that a deep stretch. That's a deep stretch for me, and it's wonderful. And Salt was saying something like back to the meditation and the two things. He meditates, he doesn't do yoga. But be mindful of that. Do little stretches when you can. Like when we yawn as humans, we arch our back, stretch our legs, blah blah blah.
Right.
That's your body telling you it's time to circulate. So people who sit in the cubicle all day or the truck or people that just sit, they don't have the luxury of circulating their body, and it's torture here in America.
In Japan, they take yawn breaks.
Well, yeah, and you know what? I tell people all the time, the ancient yogis, they sat on rocks or they sat on tiger skin. You think that's not going to make your leg go numb or your ankle? They didn't have no blanket to sit on. They didn't have no cushion. They didn't have no something to cover them up when they cold. None of that. So they had to get up and move. They looked at the animals. They looked at the dog. The dog stretched like this. Well, let me try to see what that do for me. The snake move like this. Let me see how that move. The cat move like this. The cow move like that. All right, cool. Let me see what that do. The warrior does this and this and that. Let me try them things.
Holy fuck. So that's why there's all those positions. Oh, they're named after those things. Oh,
yes,
the nature of it all.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give you one pose.
Because there's my favorite's the cat one where you're on all four. I love
yeah,
a good
cat cow.
Ooh, I love it.
There's a pose out there called Anjaneyasana. I know y'all don't know what that means. That's Sanskrit, but all that means is monkey pose. Anjane is a monkey. Asana is the pose. It's the seat. The only reason in yoga why you doing this Anjaneyasana is so that you feel more comfortable when you sit on your butt and you're ready to meditate.
Okay.
And remember, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And remember, I said in the beginning that this is about thought, right?
Yeah.
If you think monkey, there is a thought associated with monkey. Mm-hmm. There is a thought associated with tiger. There is a thought associated with snake. and we're training our thoughts. Thoughts and feelings run side by side. You feeling aggressive? Do tiger pose.
Facts.
You feel like going to war? Do warrior pose. And I'm gonna say this again, even the gods do these poses in accordance with their thought and emotion. Why does Shiva dance?
Right.
Come on now.
And
Right
why
here,
and
she
why
said
do
it.
I do the birds of paradise? The only reason why I do birds of paradise is because, and this is the Hindu story behind it, because Kali and Shiva were having a dance off. And Kali won the dance off, or so she thought, by lifting her leg up in the air to do bird of paradise. But apparently she didn't win because Shiva likes to have sex more than anything. So he ended up doing what he wanted to do.
Sounds like a
You
man,
know,
child.
I know all of these stories, but I never associated them with yoga. I know
Same,
all of
Nikki.
these
I'm tripping. Look at
stories.
this is
I
Birds of
know
Paradise.
all of these
Thank you.
gods. I
That
know
is
all
birds
of
of
this.
paradise.
You know, I've read all these stories and everything. Like, but I'm familiar with the characters and the gods and the demigods and all of that. Just like I am with Greek or Norse or Roman mythology, right? But yeah, I never associated it with yoga, and I knew that yoga comes from that culture, and I never put the two together.
It's like you know, you have the Orishas, right? And you have stories about them. As a matter of fact, this is something that I wanted to say in the beginning that I forgot to say. Yoga in Egypt and yoga in India were around each other around the same time. Some people even feel like yoga originated in Egypt before it did in India. If you look at certain hieroglyphs, there are yoga poses there. They actually talk about doing them. And today in America, they have something called comedic yoga, where the yoga poses are more based on the Egyptian hieroglyphs. But there's a guy named Dharma
Young
Mitchell
Pharaoh used to do them before
who
his
does similar shit.
MMA both things.
Right.
Girl.
Right. And there's a guy
MMA
named
fights
Dharma
and stuff.
Mitra.
And look at him now.
He does certain yoga poses that were only for, and this is where Kriya yoga comes in, but he does certain yoga poses that were for the warrior caste. Okay, the Kshatriya. And those poses look very similar, if not exactly the same, as the poses that were in Egypt.
But if we're
Around the
all
same
tapped into the same source, couldn't we all do the same thing but just have a different spin? Because that's what
Yes.
it's singing to me.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell him, Fee.
So there is room for the Whole Foods yoga.
Isn't
Come
that what
on in,
Jesus?
white ladies. Y'all don't
Isn't
be
that what
scared in the
Jesus
chat.
said?
Hit the like.
You would
Jesus
you
said,
brought
"And
up
you
young
will
Pharaoh.
I'm
close
sorry.
your
I'm
eyes."
such a messy bitch. I'm sorry.
You
Leave
would
your
brought up young
Pomeranian
Pharaoh.
outside, though.
I think he's a prime example of, because most people now they say, oh, he done went crazy. He's this, he's that. It's like, okay, but if he's over there meditating and he's doing all these things, I think he's a prime example of what happens. Like I said earlier, when you meditate for too long, he had a lot of unresolved. He got in touch with a part of himself
Who
that
is
has
he?
young Pharaoh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, come on.
He got in touch with a part of himself that he never had a connection to before, with a lot of unresolved anger, a lot of unresolved issues, a lot of unresolved things from his past. And it made him, he got in touch with an uglier part of himself. All he's done is just become more of himself. All that was already there before. He just found the right key to open up the door. Honestly, what he's going through could happen to anybody. And that's why I always tell people, like I
Not
don't
just
do yoga,
anybody,
but I
but
do
people
meditate.
who, if you don't do the work, now it makes sense to me. And this is why I haven't dived into anything, because I'm like, that ain't for me. That ain't for me. That ain't for me. This is why I haven't dived in, because I've been doing some crazy ass work just by myself, just a lunatic by myself, like a fucking, what do they call those people that live a hermit, right? I just be out here. I don't work with my dark side, but it's always here with me. Hey, friend. Hey, keeps me company. We go back and forth with each other, but that's all I need. I don't really want
Right.
to include myself with like a group of shit when it because then you see things like carbonation and other stuff. I would
Mhm.
rather just sweat it out with me and God by my motherfucking self. Like, let's go.
And see,
You don't trust.
before I even knew all of these things, like knew them, people would say, "Why did you just stop teaching? Why did you
Please do.
why did you stop educating the masses on things that you've learned?" And it was because like one day spirit just smacked me in the face and was like, "You're going to teach someone something that they're not ready for. You are going to teach someone how to quote unquote open their third eye, and they're not going to be ready for it, and they're going to end up turning crazy." And so I just was like, "Yeah, no, I'm just going to be quiet on everything, everything. I'm not even going to talk about history because what the fuck?" And then to have this conversation today further confirms in my mind why I
Mhm.
stepped away so much from a lot of things because I
And
can't
we
wait till
have
we get
two
into spiritual
teachers. We have
psychosis
to,
'cause
right. We need to have and Shri and Fundi, everybody that this same crew, please come back because I want to have the spiritual psychosis conversation now. But real life happens because it's heavy, it's real, but we have two teachers on the panel. So how do y'all discern as a teacher? You have to have discernment as well. Like, I can't teach this student. You're not ready
Mhm.
for it. Shri was talking about how she said, "Ma'am, I can't do that for you."
Mhm.
Um
Hey, Fee,
and
you want to tell me about my time on Bigo?
That was pitiful.
That shit's a swear word at this point. Beagle's a swear word.
you said what, Nikki?
Hmm?
Who
I
said
think
what?
you
Somebody
said bigo is a swear word.
Yeah, I said Beagle's a swear word.
Oh.
um, yeah,
Tracy by
Lurky, I
nature,
don't.
where you at?
Yeah, there, but when I first technically had two students, one of them was a young lady who was pretty much a contortionist. She can get into any pose. She can get into the poses way better than me. She didn't even have to blink her eyes two times, right? And she could do all the tricks, so to speak. And there was another one. She didn't do a lot of yoga per se, but she wanted to know about yoga. All right. The first one, I was like, hey, you could do these postures way better than me. And she was like, oh, well, I want to see you do yoga. And when she saw how I did yoga and how I went into the pose, she was like, oh my gosh, I got to learn from you. I got to learn from you. And I said, the difference between me and you is that I use my breath to go into the pose. And she held her breath. And I was like, you're not going to get where you want to be holding the breath. And she wanted me to try to teach her how to do pranayama. I tried, but I said, you know what? No, because you're not mentally ready. You're not emotionally ready. You're not even spiritually ready. The other one, right? She didn't really want to learn nothing. And I was like, you know what? You don't have to learn the postures. Me and you could go through the Raja Yoga. We can go through the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. This idiot decided to go get the Bihar School of Books, which is the toughest school that you could ever step in from a book or even going out there to India to learn certain things about yoga. I told her this. I was like, I'm not teaching you shit out of that Bihar book. And I had all still got all my Bihar books here. I can't even read some of those books because some of those books, I open them up to start reading it, I get a headache because I know how powerful the damn thing is. She didn't want to listen to me. She was like, oh, well, because she didn't know how to breathe properly either. She couldn't handle pranayama either. So I had to tell her to kick rocks too. And if you read them Bihar books by yourself and you go through some psychosis, some weird and crazy foolishness, that's your problem, not mine. And yeah, she kind of, yeah. Uh-huh.
Went through it. Listen, and that's just I right time, wrong place, right place, wrong time. That is real. But that's why I'm just cautious of going to like little studios and stuff because baby, I don't want to pick up at what everybody else is laying down. I'm good.
Now can I tie Egypt and yoga together in another thing
Yes.
that you
Yes,
might not
please.
think about? May I blow your mind one more time? Remember,
Blow our mind.
there was a carpenter
Jesus?
who was a virgin, and his mama took him to Egypt. Remember? In Egypt, he went to school. You lost him. Well, some histories lost him from the age of 8 to the age of 30, where he was in school. The school he was in was esoteric schools, just like his mom. And in these esoteric schools, they taught him how to breathe, how to stretch, how to posture, how to control his thought, how to control elements within his own body. So if it ever came a time that he would need to slow his internals down so he could save himself, he could.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would be seen as a small miracle if they just went ahead and buried him and thought he was dead. But oops.
Wow. Not Tony up here giving us the fucking gospel.
And I want to add to that. And the reason why they had to send him to that school at 8 was because if he was, half God and his daddy was God, apparently anything he said came to be just like that. So if you knocked him down and he was like, just like me down, you get knocked down right now. You felt dead. So he had to talk to people.
Yeah, Jesus asshole for real, for real.
And see that was and I learned that on my journey, starting this journey. I learned that
Wait,
Jesus
this
was
y'all saying this where yoga came from?
that the Jesus that we know was a yogi master. That is where he went, was to the mystery schools. When Christianity loses that space and time, he's learning the mysteries of the world. And he comes back and he teaches people how to utilize their Christos, their Krishna, their Christ-like abilities.
Consciousness.
And that's why he had
And
to talk
so
in parables, because if he told you do right, you're going to do right.
right. And see, and that makes sense. Now we're tying in
This is
yoga.
crazy.
It's making so much more sense that to tie
It does
in
tie
yoga.
it ties in a lot, but because I know for a fact that the human body can control itself. It can slow itself down. There's been it's proven time and time again. People can do that. You can meditate to a place. You can slow it down. Absolutely. This is
You can change your own auric field to seem to disappear.
Thank you, Fee.
You can
She was
control.
listing them off.
Yeah, you can control yourself. Now, this was a high science that you can float on water and appear not to touch it. That is a very high science. And he learned these from 8 to 29. He's come on, man. That's 21 years.
To then be killed on his 31st.
But plus half God body. It's not like you just some regular nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the chosen one. you're Neo, you're
Neo.
Jesus.
Yep.
So not only it's tapping into it though. That's what it is. That's what people aren't. I don't know where I'm going. Hi, Reef, but it's the
I know where I'm
tapping
going to go
in.
with it.
It's the tapping
Because what did
internally.
Jesus teach? What did Jesus
Okay.
teach? He taught that you could do it too.
Amen.
Yeah,
Not just regulated to him. You could do it too.
And
Just because
ye will
he's
do greater things than I. Not just
Say it
you will
again.
do it too. You will do greater things than I.
This is
Come on.
crazy. I'm losing my mind.
I'm catching the Holy Spirit, child, but we ain't even gonna go there.
I'm losing my mind right now. I'm mind blown. Come on.
Because it is all tying in together. Now I can without a doubt say, no, yoga is not demonic. There's unless your intent is for it to be demonic, then yes, it will be demonic. But if you are doing yoga to find center, to find balance, you're doing the work of the Lord. Amen. You're doing the work of the Lord. You are literally out here trying to put yourself in the highest state possible so you know how to, for lack of a better term, restrain your ego.
Purifying, though, was a word used today. Purifying.
And then to even tie in, if you're feeling like you want to go to war, stand in a warrior pose. If you're feeling angry, stand like a tiger. If you're feeling big, stand like an oak tree. If you're feeling small, do the snake pose. Like it all it's mind blowing how it all just full circles itself, like the snake eating itself. It's literally just
Yeah,
a
that's
circle.
crazy. That's
Hold on,
crazy.
y'all.
It's beautiful, is what it is. It's beautiful. Yeah. What do
Lurky,
you
can you
need? Babe?
pull up something? Because I
Of
finally
course.
want to explain why the purification of the chakras ain't as easy as people think. And I don't know how to spell this word, Cadeus. Can you bring up a Cadeus for me, please?
Cool.
I don't even know how to spell the
And you
thing.
said it's in context with what? With purity? Cadeus?
No, it's in context with medicine, actually. Cadeus. Okay. I don't know how to spell it though right now. I feel like Buddy Lee. Can't read, can't spell.
Shout out to Buddy Lee, because I know Fuck Shit Friday is popping off right now.
Okay.
Shout out to Buddy Lee.
It's a medical symbol, and it has a snake with wings. I mean, it has a thing with wings and the two snakes.
Cadeus medical symbol. Okay, that's what I'm asking for context. Yes, symbol. Okay.
The caduceus.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. You know, come on. I told y'all I ain't got no damn sense.
We got action. We got action.
Okay. We got everything right. Okay. Yoga can make me do a lot of things. They ain't gonna make me spell right.
Shit, I didn't know. My bad. Okay.
That is not yoga job. That's why my teacher is a Tai Chi master. She can help me spell. Okay.
Which one you want? You can pick
any one of them. Give me that gold one. That pretty gold one up there will do. Yeah, with
right
the black.
Here?
No, with the black. With the
Oh,
black.
with the black. I like that too. This one. All right.
That's the good one.
Let's pull this.
All right,
baby
make
up.
that big now.
I am.
Make
baby.
it
I
big.
got you. I got you. Let me go ahead. Oh, my dog's in here. Hold on. Oh wait, what did it? Oh, it took me to another screen. Hold on. Let me share this one instead. It took me to another screen. Why did it do that? There we go.
Oh man,
baby.
it made it too big. I wanted to be a little smaller so you can see the whole thing. Because now I'm just showing you the top. I wanted you to see the whole thing.
Oh, it did. It cut it. The thing
Scroll
did
down.
though.
Maybe it shows you the whole
No,
thing.
it's the actual picture. Hold on, let me go back. Let me go back. It's not this one. Hold on, babe. Boop, boop, boop. It won't. Yeah, it won't do it. So we'll have to pick another one. We can't do the gold one. Sorry.
Okay, we can pick any one. It's gonna be the same thing regardless.
Here we go. Oh, good. What? This is
Y'all, I'm going to be standing in a warrior pose like all day, every day.
Okay.
Okay,
Listen,
it's
all
got me
you need
going
to do is stand into the
everywhere.
asana mountain pose. That's just standing up. You just
That's
got to do it a
fine.
certain way. You could.
Yeah, you're like.
Okay, this one will do. This one will do.
You like
Yay.
that? You
I
like
did it.
that?
This one
Oh,
will
okay,
work.
baby. That's what I can
So,
do.
where the snakes start from at the bottom, right, is where the Kundalini energy is supposed to sit. That Kundalini spirit.
Mm-hmm.
At the top, where that round thing is, by the wings, that is supposed to be the Sahasrara chakra. So if the Kundalini goes up that staff to the top, then you bust that enlightenment. Now, here's the tricky part, okay? The chakras go all up that staff, right? That is called the Sushumna Nadi. Okay? Nadis are like nerves, but they're the spiritual, they're like the spiritual form of nadis. It's not like you can, cut open your back and then you see these nadis, okay? Just like you can't open up your back and see chakras, right? This
Right.
is all esoteric, okay? So the chakras go up that staff, which is the Sushumna. The two snakes that cross each other, those are two other nadis called the Ida and the Pingala. All right. So when you want to purify or when you want to get the Kundalini to go all the way up to the Sushumna chakra without you going crazy or messing up your body physically or anything like that, not only do you have to purify that Sushumna nadi where the chakras are, you also have to purify the Ida and the Pingala nadis, those two snakes.
Mm-hmm.
And if those are not purified, then you go crazy. Then you get foam out the mouth. Then you get fucked up. Because the problem is everybody's so worried about those chakras up the Sushumna. And let's purify the chakras. They're not purifying the Sushumna nadi. They're not purifying the Ida or the Pingala nadis.
And what would the two snakes represent for the slow ones in the back?
The Ida and the Pingala nadis.
And that would be like,
that is actually how the extra Kundalini. Okay, so let's say that you got this staff and it's this much. The Kundalini is gonna go up that, but it's also gonna go through the Ida and the Pingala
mm-hmm.
and
Like
connect to the third eye. Well, not the third eye. They should be connecting around the Vishuddha chakra, the throat chakra.
That's where it looks like on the staff. It would be more towards the throat.
Yeah.
So from my brain, this image is like the snakes represent conductors.
Yes, and snakes are representative of wisdom. They were the one that carried knowledge.
May I?
Well, go
Yes,
ahead, Cindy.
of course, please.
One way to think about these two snakes is thought and action.
Okay.
One is thought,
yes,
and one is action.
I was thinking it was the right brain, left brain, but come on.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Definitely.
Now check this out. At no point in time do these two opposite things, they are looking directly at one another, right? Mimicking each other, correct? If your thought and your action, if your left brain and your right brain cannot look at each other and have harmony, those two snakes go wandering off.
Or bite.
Thank you. And they can eat each other.
Right.
So when you say the snake eating itself, sometimes that is not always a good thing.
And I was
And
thinking
look at
that
the
the other
wings
day, like,
above
is
it.
that a good
The
thing or
wings
not?
above it. I
The
love
wings-
that.
The wings are like reaching enlightenment.
Correct. But if your thought and your action, if your left brain, your right brain, if your logic and your emotion are ashamed of one another, you won't even make it up that pole.
Right. And the Kundalini won't want to travel up there.
Yeah, because you can even see that there's different things right here where it splits off, where it, you know what I'm saying, where it comes back, so it's like different levels here, right?
Yes, and
Boom,
those are
boom. And then this
indicative of where
last,
the chakra points are.
right, and this
It
last
gets
level being
further,
able to face yourself.
right. It gets further and further away from itself too.
Yes, yes.
And if
Only to
you
turn around and look at itself.
Right. And if you can't turn around and look at yourself after you've done action and thought, it wanders again. It wanders right off. And you got to start again from the bottom and make it come up. So when you're ashamed of your actions, ain't no reason to meditate, homie. You got to fix the action. That snake, that particular snake is damaged and it can't stand up on its own.
Because this is getting to it. This is getting to it.
And that's when we call you an extremist.
This is like a super psychosomatic experience. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have these things purified, there's no literal place for them in your body, but they can still cause physical damage. This is the ultimate in what psychosomatic is.
Can you imagine your thought and your reason eating your voice?
I feel like that happens to me a lot if I'm just going to be honest and transparent.
It's been happening for a long time.
And now you have a physical idea of what that looks like in your body. Do you think that's not damaging to you?
Absolutely.
I'm going to pull this up. Hold on. Nikki says this is the staff of Hermes. And this is the it's used in all kinds of things, medical stuff.
But it makes so much sense.
But this is what we called it. What do we call it? The caduceus. This is the staff, but this is what it is. We went. Oh, Nikki wasn't here. Oh, I'm sorry, Nikki. We transferred over to Egypt, babe. We are still talking about yoga and other stuff, but we transferred over to Egypt. I'm sorry, you left. She left. She had some shit to do. Okay, so we're on Egypt stuff. So yes, this is why we're here, Nikki. I'm sorry.
Can I blow your mind one more time to bring another circle into this?
Oh, hold on. I got to holler at my co-host real quick. Godmomma, do you got this for 15, 10, 15?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Cool. Peace, Mama Global, and Nikki's on the panel. Hey, Mama Global.
Now, come on with it, Fundi. Come on with it. What was you going to say? Let me hold on to my hair.
Remember the Baphomet?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this what's in its crotch?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is supposed to be feminine.
Thank you.
And to answer the question about why is the symbol used in medicine, this symbol shows enlightenment, but it also shows the thought and the action process as far as ethics and, being able to do what doctors are supposed to do with skill and ethics, thought and action together.
Actually, sorry, I'm coming and living up to my namesake right here. Actually, it's incorrect. It's whoever decided that this was the logo was a dummy and didn't know what they were talking about, because this is the staff of Hades, and the medical staff should be the rod of Asclepius, which is one snake and no wings.
She said one snake, no wings.
Okay.
I actually have to disagree with that for one.
Asclepius is the god of healing and medicine, and that's his staff. with one snake and no wings. This is
Okay.
the rod of Hades, the messenger or the patron of like negotiation.
If I'm gonna have to check that. I'm gonna check that. I'll be right.
Please.
I'm gonna check it too. I'm interested. Hey, I'm about to be cool with Hades. I don't give a damn.
No, not Hades. Hermes.
My bad. Because I was like, Hades.
Not Hades, Hermes. I may have misspoken. Just because Hades is more fun to say.
Hades, Hermes, I can agree with. Hades,
sorry, I misspoke.
Right. That's where I got tagged too. I was like, well.
Look, Hades is more fun to say. It's not my fault.
Oh, they do have both of them. Okay.
It says this one I pulled up. It says the the magical staff of Hermes, and so I don't know. These people,
Right, but if you look up the
medical
rod of Alcipius, he is the god of healing.
every medical let's see. Let me type in this.
Alcipius supposedly brought people back from the dead. He was so good at medicine and healing. So his rod is supposed to be the medical rod, not the messenger staff. That is why there's wings on it, because Hermes was the messenger, the winged shoe, etc. Or no, that was Apollo, but it goes in line.
No, you're talking about Mercury. You're right, talking about Mercury.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna do it. Just for the sake of kicks and giggles, because
Do it.
That kid. I'm gonna have to say Egypt outdates Greek. So I'm gonna have to say that is the staff of Thoth. If we're gonna be talking about what displaces what, Thoth came first.
Sure did. So here's the difference.
Okay, wait, I like this. Wait, I like it.
The one side and the two-sided snake.
Right. Alcipius is the god of medicine, and then Hermes is the messenger god.
So hold on a second, because I'm looking at Wikipedia. I don't know.
God.
I still like it. It says the
She said,
rod
"I still
of
like it."
Alcipius takes its name from the Greek god Alcipius, a deity associated with healing and medicinal arts in ancient Greek religion and mythology.
That's what it says over here.
Okay, but we know that Greek mythology, just like okay, so Romans stole everything from the Greeks, and Greeks stole everything from
Right. But I was saying that
Egypt,
to say that when it comes to Caduceus,
okay, so
they
Thoth
more
turned
about
into Hermes.
astronomical symbols and astrology, alchemy, and astronomy.
Yes.
Turned into Mercury or whatever.
Yes,
Right.
one person,
like I said, it all
basically
goes in line.
replaces. Yes, they what is the word I'm looking for? Where they intertwine with each other. Like, thought is
that's a good word.
They're not the same person, but the same action. Again, going back to what I said.
Like an archetype.
Right. If we're all on the same frequency from source, aren't we all just getting the same message? So whether it was Thoth or Hermes, it's the same message. We're just arguing over, not we as in us up here, but
no, but
collectively,
history and
we're just arguing over who's the name of who gets this name.
Right.
Because I mean, I've heard that Moses was actually he's a pharaoh. I'm not going to be able to say his correct name, but his timeline is the same timeline as another pharaoh. His story is the same story as another pharaoh by this name.
Well, Moses is included in the conversation with Hermes, Thoth, and Alcipius. Moses is included in that conversation.
Man, it's just simpler for me to say I wasn't damn there. Ooh.
And they all did yoga.
Listen, I was about to say the Caduceus also appears as a symbol in the punch mark coins of the Mayura Empire in India, and it was the symbol of the Buddhist king Ashoka, his personal mudra, his personal hand symbol. That's cute. Anyway, go ahead, y'all.
So even the one snake going up the staff is still symbolic of um to me the kundalini energy traveling up the spine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the difference is with that one and the other one was, the snakes meeting each other, having to face each other, which I like that reference better because a lot of the times when people are doing this work or they're trying to open their chakras, heal their chakras, work with kundalini energy, they get to a certain point and they either fizzle out or fizzle out.
Right.
And it's like, and now this image, let me pull the image
Burn
back
up or
up.
they burn out.
Yes, and now this image allows me to put a better visual to this because I'm a visual person. That once they reach the point of the snakes facing each other, when it's time to really see if you're okay with the actions that you've made and the choices that you've made in life, it's make or break season, and a lot of people can't get past that. So I appreciated this because it gives me a visual of what is happening, not physically happening, but
Right.
energetically what is happening.
And I'm gonna get this word right. Caduceus.
Caduceus. Shout
It's
out
gonna
to
be my,
Reef in the building.
it's gonna
Mama
be my
Flogo.
homework.
And may I do one more so we understand this in popular culture as well? Remember The Last Airbender? During
Mhm.
that series, they had a dragon dance. He
Right.
and what's the dude that got burnt that was trying to chase him? What was his name?
I can't remember his name, but I remember he was part of the Fire Nation.
Correct. And they both had to carry these little fires with them, right?
Mhm.
Until they
Mhm.
got up the mountain. Then they had to learn this dance. And then because Aang was nothing but imaginary, he was air, right? And the other dude was fire. He was logic. And they had to do this dance together. And if they did not do it in perfect sequences, they couldn't get the knowledge from the dragons. Dragon and snakes are the same thing.
Yep.
Two
Mhm.
sides. And the
Dragons and snake
dragons
bird.
look at each other. You can go watch it. Go watch it. It's so simple, children can understand.
And they're coming out with a TV series of it now. They've broken it
I
down
never
into a
saw that
TV series.
movie.
It was a good movie. I was sad that they made a TV series instead of a second part, but whatever,
I
that's
kind
not
of
what we're
cued
here
in
for.
on I kind of cued in on the part where Fundi said air is imaginary. I'm like, wait, what? No, it's not.
Yes, it
And
is.
you know what?
Air is
I'm gonna
flighty
take it
as
a little
hell.
bit deeper.
The
I'm gonna
only
take it a little bit
reason
deeper as to why most people can't get their kundalini right is because they do a whole lot of things, but they don't do something called kriyas, and they don't do something called bandhas. Bandhas are locks, okay? And there is a thing called kriya yoga, but a kriya is something that cleanses you out. So, like, if you've ever seen a human being stomach churn, where they make their stomach like go into waves from side to side, you ever seen that before?
Like a belly dancer?
That's what I was thinking, Nikki. A belly
Not as
dancer?
pretty. Not as pretty.
No, didn't know me. I haven't ever seen that crazy talk.
Not as pretty. I wish it was.
They're
Yeah.
breathing or this is involuntary?
No, it's voluntary. I was
Okay.
able to do it a couple times, but it's hard. You got to lean forward in order to get it right.
And what is the purpose? Like, what is the end goal? I guess I should say.
For the kriyas, so
Mhm.
that you can clear out certain physical parts of you, so that those chakras are purified.
So, in order to do yoga, one should work with their chakras first. or no?
No.
Okay.
No, you ain't gotta do none of that. You don't gotta worry about none of that. Yoga don't care. Yoga does not require you to know anything about chakras, nadis, none of that. All you need to do, inhale through your nose, expand your belly outward like a big Buddha belly. Exhale, bring that belly right back to where it came from. That's all you need to worry about.
And as Tai Chi says, skill will take care of itself.
It's a lot of because I've I haven't went hardcore at Tai Chi with Fundi Fi as I probably should have, but just the small things that I have learned, they like coincide together. The focusing where to put your breath at, where is the pain at, then send your breath to that spot. A lot of it is the same to me in my mind. Like, okay, I can correlate these two together because that's kind of what you do in both areas. Because there was a lot of times, like especially the horse stance, and I would be like, I cannot, like this is too much, and Fundi would be like, focus your breath down to where it's hurting, and it sounds silly, but once you start to actually do it and you push that breath down to your legs where it's burning, that sensation kind of goes away. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm adding oxygen to that spot or if I'm just focusing my mind on something completely else. But I
It's
know that
both.
it worked.
It's different words that I learned. I learned to like not to push your like when you're doing things like Tai Chi or horse stance or anything that's difficult like that. I never really heard push your breath to that spot. However, what you explained is the same thing that I was taught, and that is use your breath as your gravity.
Hello, can I say something real quick?
Of course.
You can't push your breath nowhere. When I say inhale and expand your belly outward, that's not your breath going anywhere. That's really your diaphragm just moving. You can send it somewhere. You can mentally send it somewhere and it'll go. But at that point in time, what you're sending to your leg, and I'm coming from a yogic point of view. I'm not saying Fundi's wrong at all. She's right. But from a yogic point of view, you're not sending your breath anywhere. You're sending your prana there. You're sending your chi there. It is a difference. The breath is a vehicle for prana. Food is a vehicle for prana. Me and you, if I give you a hug or I shake your hand, that's a vehicle for prana. That's all we use the breath for. So we can accentuate the prana, the chi, the spirit, the soul that keeps us alive.
And if I said send your chi down there, she gets a complete goddamn question mark over her head, goes blank and go load, 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 load.
Right.
Thank
The
you.
layman is not going to
That's what I was
understand
about
send
to.
your chi there. So you have to say it like, send your breath here, da da da.
And that's what I was about to say. Like Fundi probably told me to send my breath there because she knew I was an ignorant bitch. And if she would have said, send your chi down to your thighs, I would have been like, girl, what is you talking about? What?
That's how I teach people too. I tell them send their breath somewhere. I'll be like, yeah, send your breath somewhere. But I'm not going to push the breath there because your breath ain't going there. Technically speaking, your breath ain't going there. But it's your chi and your prana that will go there.
So I kind of have a thing that ties all of that together. And I said it a little bit earlier in the chat. In Hawaiian, we use breath the same as like mana or chi or what did you say? Is it I can't say it. Please say it again. Prana, the energy in yoga.
Prana, like banana, prana.
Gotcha. Right. So in Hawaiian, we call it mana, but we also associate our breath with mana. Your breath is your mana is your breath. And that's how we greet each other and share strength and things like that. But to associate breath with your power, your chi, your energy, or whatever, it makes perfect sense. Even though literally, technically, you're not pushing your breath, but breath is equated with your ethereal power, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, same thing, different language, you know? And once you get over that, like, oh, this is the same, it's just a different language. Oh, this is the same, it's just a different language. You can open up your mind so many ways. I feel like what is demonic is ignorance. You know what I mean? That's demonic. When you introduce ignorance into anything that you want to use to elevate you, and the ignorance is still there's the demonic door. That's just me, though.
And I can agree with you on that, Shree. I can agree. I can agree with
Oh, I thought I was talking. I'm sorry, y'all couldn't hear me. Hi, I'm back.
you. No,
Hey,
you was
absolutely,
on
Shree.
mute.
Oh, my
You
bad.
was you was
I was on double mute. Shree, you're right. Ignorance is the fucking devil. Okay, when you we want to include ego and all these other things, blah blah blah. Ignorance surpasses so much. It really does. Um, and when we're talking about same thing, different languages, that's all it is. Just break it down. I've heard before there's elders who say there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new. This has all been done before. It's all been destroyed before. It's all been rebuilt before. It's all. So that's where we are when I guess when we're talking about these yoga stair steppings and realizations and extending in a form or another. Some pretty wonderful revelations today. Wonderful.
absolutely.
I'm tweaking and geeking on the. I'll go back to that. I got some homework to do. That's what I have.
Okay.
I think we all have some homework to do. Well, let me speak for myself
No,
because
I got homework to do. I always have homework to do.
I just want to say if y'all see me out here growling like a tiger, don't just mind your business. Okay? Mind your business.
Godmomma, when you gonna do horse dance again?
Child, please don't get Fundi start. Why are you Shree? I thought
We
we
talking
was
about animals,
friends.
child.
I thought we were friends.
Why you do this to me?
I thought we were friends. Now see Fundi gonna come in every day. Where's horse dance? Horse
Before we
dance.
start, everybody, give me 5 minutes.
Right? That's why my ass been over here hiding from Bigo because I know as soon as the bitch get on Bigo, I'm gonna get triggered to stand there and do horse stance on my first live.
With
Godmomma, you know what? Remember, listen, when we first was on Bigo and Fundi was like, okay, we gonna do horse dance. My dumb ass was like, child, this is goddess pose in yoga. I got this motherfucker shit. Fundi
you
said, oh
thought?
no, do this. I said, oh hell no.
Yeah, you
Right.
thought.
Right. And then what got it was what was so bad was she was like, okay, now you do like the first stance, you sit back, put all your weight, and then the next week she talking about lift your leg. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought this over here was horse stance. And she's no, there's more things to add to it. Like, what?
My thing was, wait a minute, I gotta hold this for how long? Oh
For
hell
how
no.
long?
I
See,
gotta hold
growing
this.
up, we just called that wall sits.
I swear.
And those were
Because
torture.
I'd
Wall
rather
sits were torture.
you
But
die.
the longer we did it, the easier it did get. Really, it did. And I wish I wouldn't have stopped. I really did because I probably would have been a stacked beast
Or
by
I could do
now.
that shit for like 10 minutes straight, but I have PTSD the whole fucking time, but I can do it.
I'm about to say, you can do it. I'm not gonna sit here and tell Fundi that I can do it for 10 minutes.
Hold
Next
on.
thing you know, I come
Hold
into
on, but
He
wait a
watched me
minute.
do it for 10 minutes and then watched me
right
fall
now.
over when I tried to do a sidekick.
Wasn't it Nikki though saying anger is useful? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
There you go. Use your anger. Hold your
Yeah.
pose. Mm-hmm.
I was
Use your
using my
anger.
anger, my breath. I was praying to Jesus, all kinds of shit. I was like,
I
somebody help
swear.
me. Feed, tell me to stop. The universe like,
Right.
look, bitch, sit right down.
And then you sitting here thinking, oh, it's at least 30 seconds. 30 seconds done went by. You look down at that motherfucking clock and it's 5 seconds done went by. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, time really slows down.
And
But
God,
if
mama,
you
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no,
That's
you
what it
are,
was.
but
It was Fundi. It was Fundi. She said anger gets shit done. It was
But if you
that's what
use
it
that
is.
time, like you use it to breathe the way that you're supposed to breathe and focus, it really isn't that bad. But baby, that ego be fighting. Okay,
Okay. The
that
breath
ego
Every
be
wasn't
time I
working for
fighting.
say
me.
that,
I
I
was
hear
trying
it
to
in
use
Orlando
it to be
Jones'
angry.
voice.
I was like, why my legs shaking? I'm angry. Why I'm sweating? I'm angry. I'm trying to breathe all good. I'm like, all right, let's get this breathing practice in. And my ego's like,
Mm-hmm.
bitch, I ain't in the mood with none of this shit.
Listen though, that's that discipline throughout all of the cultures, all of the religions, all of the beliefs, all of the ups and downs of humanity. Discipline, the lack of it has been the detriment. Whether you
Mm-hmm.
call it demonic, possessed, or this, or that, or whatever, or you call it influenced, or whatever. Okay. The lack of discipline has been not new, but it has been the downfall every cycle.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That
Personal
is the
discipline or
demonic.
social discipline or both?
What
You
did
said
you
what now?
say?
I said personal discipline,
Yes.
social discipline.
No. If you have personal discipline, it does not matter where you're at. You can go anywhere if you are personally disciplined. It ain't got shit to do with nobody else.
Mm. My triggers, my problems.
Exactly.
I just want to say that one thing that I learned, whether it's yoga, tai chi, meditation, anything like this, when you pray to the most high, whoever you pray to, the universe, you got to be real specific with what you're asking for.
Mm.
When you do things like yoga, you have to be really specific on who or what type of being you want, to come into the space to do. Because a lot of things the demons and the devil can do just like God. That's why people get fooled.
Amen.
Because a lot of people, even when regular prayers with Christianity and all that, they don't know who they praying to. They just, hey, I just want money. The devil done gave you the money. Now you going through this. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't never said God, but I just want money now. You got to be real specific. If you are confused on your intention or who or what is supposed to bring you this intention, you gonna mess up. Especially if you're confused on who you are as a person. If you trying to find out who you are as a person and you want to use yoga as a vehicle to find that out, you have to be very, very honest and clear with yourself because that ego will do some shit to you. Okay.
I believe it. I I believe it.
Right, be
'Cause I
careful what you wish for.
Mm-hmm. Because they say the devil blesses too, baby. The devil blesses you too.
Wasn't he an angel too? Why not?
Mm.
He goes to the meetings before you do. He
What do
goes
you
to
mean?
read
He,
that Bible. He goes to
he never
all
lost
the
his wings. He
and he
never
be
lost his wings and he
God
never
for
lost his status.
yeah.
It's you don't. Well, never mind. Let me be quiet. Let me be quiet. Because that's a whole nother hole that we're gonna have to save for another day. Because when
Why?
we
Turn
left,
up. No, I'm just kidding.
well,
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just
well,
kidding.
listen, because you know how we left season one.
Mhm.
And season one left on a religious note.
Ooh,
So, I want to bring that conversation back, but like Lurk and I discussed, it's gonna have to be, as Fundi likes to say, eating an elephant, we're gonna have to take it one step at a time.
How do you eat
Because
an elephant? One
well,
bite at a time.
Right? We're gonna have to attack this one bite at a time because Fundi was dropping gems up here about Jesus going to the yogi schools.
All this
And
time I thought the answer was with barbecue sauce.
and it's getting it's getting deep and
This
a
is what
lot
we
of
started this for, though. Keep
yes.
that in mind. So we're grateful.
Yes.
Can you imagine telling Christians that their savior was a yogi master and they should practice yoga?
And they lose
You
it.
I done went to hell because I told them they savior had sex and cussed.
And if he was a yogi, can you imagine the good set? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I got something to go do.
Child, you know he knew that
I think I
content
hear my
Mary
mother
Magdalene
calling
was
me.
tapping.
Come on, Godmomma, go ahead.
I mean, they ain't lying though. They ain't lying because the things I've learned about our good old friend Jesus, he was not he was not what the masses want you to think or believe that he was.
I
He was
didn't. Damn. Ooh.
exactly. Yeah.
That don't
He
mean he wasn't a good man.
no, he wasn't. He wasn't always a good man from the stuff that I read. He was very and when I say a good man, I mean in a sense of how we perceive what a good man should be. He was not that at all.
I would
He
say he was a fair man.
right. And if ladies met Jesus Christ today, they would think he was a bum. Period.
Right. They'd be like, ew, he ain't all that.
What is
Right.
this, brother? Ew.
Run up,
A
comb your
bum.
hair, take a shower. What the fuck is wrong with you? Ew.
Right? All you wanna do is stand out here and build tables. Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm just saying. But I appreciate us having this conversation. Is yoga demonic? And I love that we came all the way full circle, and with the solution that no, yoga is not demonic. It is your intent that you use while doing yoga that could be perceived as demonic. But then we have to also go and break down the word demonic and is it even correlated with the yoga practice?
Mhm.
And to come all the way back, it's a hell no. Can you and one of the questions was, can you invoke certain deities while doing yoga? I think we said, yes, you can. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of who you calling in on. And Shri has said it 1,000 times over the last 3.5 hours. Don't just do something blindly. Pay attention to what you're doing. Use your discernment in what you're doing. Don't just get out here and do all of these poses asking for money and then get upset when someone comes and visits you in your dreams.
They say don't chew off more than you can swallow, baby. Okay?
Don't play with
And so,
fire.
mhm.
Stretching is not yoga. My Christian friends, because I know when my good Christian friends hear demonic, they run the other way. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. If it's associated, it is what it is. But you can still do your stretches. Still do your stretches. Don't let these people on the social media get you beside yourself and have you out here 80 years old and can barely walk because you never wanted to stretch because you thought you was going to invoke demons in your life. That's not how that works. Not how that works.
Right. Yoga just incorporates some stretching.
Yeah, stretch your mind. Okay?
The Sanskrit word for exercise is vyayama. Totally a different thing.
Okay. Come on.
So Indians exercise. They stretch. They do yoga too. All good.
And stretching
Period.
is just as good as working out. Right?
Mhm.
Because I mean, when I stretch, my heart rate be getting up like I done ran a marathon.
If you do dynamic stretching, girl, that's another conversation. I got memberships, y'all. I got a yoga mode,
Yes,
and
please.
so far I've been breaking down a sun salutation. So
Thank you, Reef.
it's just
Yes,
$14.99 a week.
y'all,
So
please go over there and subscribe to Shri Bad. Get her membership. She is actually a person who utilizes her memberships for exclusive membership type content. She's just not trying to scam you for your little coins. She is really giving you a service. So please, and I don't call her our Black Sector Yogi for nothing. Okay, we have a yogi master and we have a Tai Chi master in the
We
sector.
sure do.
Period.
and my next monthly class is gonna be public, y'all. I think I'm gonna
I
wear my
saw
mask,
that.
but yeah, y'all get to do some personal training with me, some more fitness business with me, and then I might make a
Listen,
yoga one public too. So
I need a boot camp is what I need. I need a foot
Period.
up my ass, shoving my face in the fucking mud, telling me, bitch, do another one. I need
Mhm.
some intense physical abuse.
Eat the cookie.
that's why you gotta come to Bigo. All right, you gotta come to Bigo, and I give them that. Layla
Make it
took
hurt.
my glute school class the other day, and I was mad because I became single, and she was like, Shri, I can't take no class with you when you mad, yo. What the hell was that? I could. I was like, what? Yeah, yeah. So
Between
y'all
Tracy and
point.
Shri, I guess Imma have my ass on motherfucking Bigo here soon. What the hell?
Listen.
Oh
And
hell
and and,
no.
and Shri is first of all, Shri is banging. Okay, she doesn't talk about it. She is about it. She has the results. Her body is it shows.
Bodying.
Okay, it shows that she takes her poses serious. She takes her expertise serious. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna
Mhm.
get back to that. Almost there.
Listen, thighs was thighin'. Okay. I said, "Oh Lord." And I showed it to my best friend. I said, Cassandra, look at this. I said, this is the girl right here that even got me started thinking about doing yoga. And then we started talking about oil pulling. And I mean, come on now. She's wonderful. And we are very grateful to have you over here to, you know what I'm saying, dive in a little bit. And Fundi came through. Master Fundi, oh my goodness. Like you started peeling wigs. You were like, you patiently waited. You were such a
Mhm.
wonderful little subscriber in the chat. You patiently waited for the link and came and peeled our scalps back.
And another thing.
I love it so fucking much. So much.
Oh
And that's
goodness.
why I appreciate when we have these specific types of conversations, spirituality, yoga, those types of things. I appreciate when Fundi gives her input because it's always a straightforward you can question it, but not in a sense of right or wrong. It allows you to process what's going on because she kinda breaks it down into dummy terms.
Fundi
You
is
know?
the most pragmatic spiritualist I have ever come across in my entire life.
Love it. This was wonderful, ladies. Thank y'all all for coming up. Sinister, I know you couldn't stay long. Um, of course, your input was wonderful. And thank you to everybody. This show goes out to Godmomma, y'all. This goes out to Godmomma. Even Salt he clowning. What kind of show is yoga demonic? What is that about? You know, and even I was like, what is this? But she said, look, I invited Shri over. We about to talk about this. I looked at it and you know what? It was wonderful because this thought has never crossed my mind. So therefore
Mhm.
I get to learn something new. And I love it. And I'm grateful. Super grateful.
Me too. Thank you, Shri, for coming and hanging out with us and entertaining our crazy
And
asses today.
please check your Cash App to make sure we hit the right one, Shree. Please check your Cash App. Just
Oh shit.
verify that we sent it to the right one.
Oh shit. Don't make me cry.
Fundi says she had to look up pragmatic again.
She said I accept it though. She said, I accept it. And that's the definition right there. You just proved her point. I love it.
Thank y'all.
Okay.
All right, cool.
That was yours? Okay, cool. Okay. No, we just appreciate you. And please come back. And even though there might be some stale water, you know what I'm saying? That's y'all. As long as we cleared it today and we can all be copacetic, then we're good, girl. Because we love
we ain't
you
clear
both.
nothing today, but what is clear is that I respect y'all to the fullest, and I am adult enough to be able to
that part
focus
was
on
cleared.
the task at hand.
Yes. And I hope that doesn't divvy you away or, move you away in the future or whatever. I mean, come through, Sri. We love you. Okay. And if we have to, we can remove guests every day. No, I'm just kidding.
But make sure your homeboy don't have no slick ass comments sometime. But other than that, we good. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right, y'all. We're out of here. We are out of here. Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Love you.
Thank you, crayons.
Yes. Thank you, Crayons, for coming through. She kept the chat together with her.
Thank you, Fundi.
Thank you, Fundi. And thank you, Sri.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let's get up out of here. Wonderful. Thank you, Fran. Loved it.
Thank you. Loved every freaking minute of it. Now, y'all, Black Sector, listen, we kept y'all an hour and 36 minutes from Buddy, so go over there and tell him we're sorry. Okay, we're sorry, but we had to get this out today. Thank you,
We
Fundi,
did.
for sharing. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We will see y'all later.
Yeah, we will. We'll be back.
Toodles.
Like my release, this is a part of what I do to have fun, and I'm a creative. Creativity, I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's what keeps life interesting and makes it have fun. Makes me have fun.